NASDAQ is off 16 points. And we check the WTIC forecast.
Clouds continue to give way to some sun on our Friday afternoon, and it's windy with the winds gusting past 45 miles an hour, and so they may be locally damaging, the high of 52. Still breezy tonight, otherwise mainly clear and chilly with the low down to 34. Saturday, mostly
check 1 4 5.
59. On Sunday, mostly cloudy, windy.
I'm
and
here, boss
cooler,
man.
the
How
high
soon?
46. Gonna feel kind of chilly with those strong winds.
19 minutes.
I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC weather
I'm sure
Center.
you mean sooner than
48
that.
now. NCAA's UConn plays Oklahoma tonight.
Now I got commercials logged up till 6 o'clock, so you could take the day off.
To Alabama by 10 with less than a minute left. And at halftime,
Yeah,
it's
that ought to
Memphis
go over well with
36,
the audience.
Colorado State.
After like 30 minutes, I know they'll be like, what the hell is going on here?
TIC 1080 News.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies.
Brian, that's not.
nationwide.
I
Best
mean,
of all,
Michael,
it's
that's
free
not
to
nice.
use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Hey, it's Jim Costa with Cash the Ticket. It's March, so
1 minute.
all over the tournament again this year. There's just nothing like betting in March. Breakdowns of every region and every game. From conference tournaments to the Final Horn, we'll have the picks and the plays on every single game. Cinderella spotlights, upset alerts, and some of that value for the last team standing. It's tourney time, so hunker down
Right
and
about
bet the
that,
board
Michael
with
B.
us. Subscribe and listen to Cash the Ticket in the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
If your air conditioner and furnace are over 10 years old, they've pretty much gone to the dogs. But at Ayala Home Services, we can fetch you a free furnace with our 2-for deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a new air conditioning system, you receive a free furnace. We also offer free, no-obligation estimates for these new systems. Call, click, or text and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for
10, 10.
77688D10401465, E11856443, S330869, HIC 628926, SM30044646, HOD 635, HOD 223.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese's on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And it is a wonderful Friday for each and every one of you. You know what today is.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
And I've got plenty of grievances today. And we'll get into them. So stick around. If you want to air your grievance, numbers 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. You can also send it to me by just meeting us in the chat room. You got to go to reesontheradio.com that you can find out one of the locations where you can join us. You can either do Rumble, you could do YouTube if you like. I'm not a big fan. But if you want to go there, that's fine. It's available to you. You could go to Twitch if that's your favorite place to go hang out. If you're a gamer, we're also there. You can go to X, formerly known as Twitter, and Facebook, of course, which a lot of us older folks will not let go of Facebook, which, again, I'm with you. Old folks in the social media game, you and I, birds of a feather. I like Facebook. For me, it suits my needs. I know a lot of the kids like the Insta. Instagram, but that's what the kids call it. I don't care what the kids call it. I'm not impressed by the kids. I'm not impressed by what's cool or hip. There's this thing that I'm watching, which is very funny, and it goes to a monologue that I gave about a week ago when I talked about why we should never give up our traditions so that we can find our way to the new. And that was that video that Rep DeLauro did, where she's, saying the skibbity and, main character energy nonsense. And this is an 82-year-old woman trying to ride the tide of the new. And I was talking about how silly that was. Well, there's this new trend that's on, I guess, TikTok or wherever it is the kids are going. I watched it yesterday. And it is funny. Don't get me wrong. I'm not ragging on the bit. It's funny to watch. So they take two young teenagers, and the two teenagers are in a challenge against each other. And they have to put water in their mouth and hold it in while an older person says slang from their generation. And the sound of it is supposed to make the two young kids laugh and spit out the water. So whoever spits out the water first, in that sense, is a laughing challenge. But the objective is, and I don't see it, like most people would look at that and say, oh, well, they're making the parents look silly. No. The parents understand that it's silly. They're in on the gag. It's really showing young kids that their generation are the only ones who are supposed to use that language, as every generation does. My generation had funky fresh. When I use it today, my wife cringes. But when I was growing up in the 80s, everybody said funky fresh. And when I say it, it's to be completely tongue-in-cheek. So I watched this video because it's fun, because when you listen to the old folks say the new slang, it is indeed funny, which only, in my view, certifies what I'm trying to say. These kids, their phrases, they all get old. They all get out of step. They end up looking silly to their young people. So in essence, it doesn't mean anything. It's fleeting. All of it is. That's not what I wanted to talk about today, but I just thought about that when I was thinking about, being on Facebook. People say, you're still on Facebook? Yes. It's the OG social media. And I'm sticking to it. Hell, if MySpace was still around, I'd be there too. Gary is out in hard-hitting New Britain. Goodness gracious. Anyway, my opening monologue today was supposed to be about something that I saw, which I thought was incredible. And I always tell people, give everything time, and you will see what I see. You don't see it in the beginning. People will argue with you. But if you wait, you will see what I see. And I would like to give a challenge to those on the left. I want to give a challenge to Democrats, particularly African-American Democrats. Actually, I apologize. African Americans. If I call them Democrats, I'm being redundant. But I'd like to ask them a question. Listen very closely, because everything about what I'm about to play is relevant. Listen to the audio and then listen to my statement. It's not a trick question. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States was called an insurrectionist because he told people to go to the Capitol on January 6th. Again, the President of the United States was called an insurrectionist, an inciter of insurrectionists, because he told people to go to the Capitol. The president did say that people were going to the Capitol. He had heard people would go to the Capitol. Here are his exact words. And remember, with the news media, this network, all networks, saying that the president called his supporters to go to the Capitol, if indeed he told them to go there and riot, to be insurrectionists, if there was audio or video of him saying that, it would be played on a loop every day. But his exact words were never played. Never played. So I'll ask you again. If the president told people to go to the Capitol and be insurrectionists, and these are the words he said, I want you to consider something for me. Listen. The President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, January 6, 2021.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
What an insurrectionist. Again, the President of the United States. This video should have been on a loop. Those words incited people to attack the Capitol.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Code word for insurrection, peacefully and patriotically. That evildoer, President Donald J. Trump.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Which means smash windows and attack congressmen and congresswomen.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
That is called a call to arms, the news media told us. Never playing the clip, by the way. He told them to go.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
I think I've done that enough. So when a call is made by people like John Cusack and other protesters and rabble-rousers, and a member of Congress says this.
So I'll make sure that I keep it short, but I am truly here for very selfish reasons. Starting with on March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes.
Taken down? What the hell does that mean?
So I'll make sure that I keep it short, but I am truly here for very selfish reasons. Starting with on March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes.
Taken down how? How do you take him down? I know how we took down Budweiser, Bud Light in particular. I know exactly how we took them down. I know how we cost Target $10 billion in a week. I know how we did that. Was there any fire bombings at Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch places? Did anybody go into a place a bar or a restaurant or even a bodega that happened to sell Bud Light? Were they firebombed or anything? No. I don't think so. Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody in the chat room is saying, don't forget fight like hell. Don't forget fight like hell. I keep forgetting that. You're not supposed to use the word fight. I don't know why I forgot that. Give me a second here. I apologize. You know what? Tim, you're right. I did forget that the word fight is not supposed to be used because that's an insurrectionist word. You're not supposed to use that word, fight. Huh. Who is this? Let me see. I'm looking at that. Is that who I think it is? Yeah, I think it is. Hold on. Let me see if I can open that. Who is this?
Hey, Washington, can you hear us? This is Hartford shouting. We're here to fight for Medicare, here to fight for your health care. This is happening all over the country. We got to make sure Washington hears us. Hear us loud and clear. We're fighting for your rights. Look, we found out the hard way. We are all God's children. Everybody has that right to good, affordable, accessible health care for everybody. Almost half of our kids in the state are born thanks to Medicaid. The vast majority are folks in nursing homes, thanks to Medicaid. It wouldn't be there without it. We got to stand up and fight. Are you ready to fight? Can you hear us and watching us? We're ready to fight.
We're ready to fight. We're ready to fight. Can't use the word fight. How dare you use the word fight, Tim says. Did you say fight? You can't say fight. Because if you go and fight and say the word fight, it clearly outweighs these words.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard today.
Hey, Washington, we're here to fight. Peacefully and patriotically. Peacefully and patriotically. Jasmine Crockett, ladies and gentlemen.
So I'll make sure that I keep it short, but I am truly here for very selfish reasons. Starting with on March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes.
How do you take down Elon Musk? Somebody's going to have to explain it to me. How do you take him down? How do you take him down? If it's not to harm him, it's to destroy his company. Can you peacefully and patriotically walk over to an American business after you've burned them down, shot them, thrown Molotov cocktails at them? How do you expect to take him down? John Cusack says we need to pump fear into Elon Musk. How do you suppose we do that, John Cusack? We have to show him fear, John Cusack. Well, how do you expect us to do that? What? You don't think Molotov cocktails, firing weapons into his dealerships, you don't think that instills some form of fear? Do you think that bombing his cars with Molotov cocktails is the equivalent to peacefully and patriotically marching to the Capitol? I'm asking. Tell me. I don't think so. Let me argue with the dummy. Paramilitary Proud Boys. Proud Boys weren't arrested with weapons. No one was. Enrico Tarrio was not even in Washington at the time, Tim. Why are you lying? And by the way, people who said hang Mike Pence, what are you talking about? So now people saying things is tantamount to insurrection? I'll give you a hint. I'll say 2 words to you, Tim. Mahmoud Khalid. If somebody's words are offensive, if somebody says hang Mike Pence, and that's tantamount to insurrection, what does Mahmoud Khalil's words mean? The destruction of Western civilization. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free on a student visa. I don't think that your folks should have a problem with us grabbing that dummy and getting him out of the country. You wanted to put Enrique Tarrio in prison for 22 years, and he wasn't even at the Capitol for seditious conspiracy. And he said nothing close to what Jasmine Crockett said. He said nothing close to what Chuck Schumer says. Do we really need a refresher on Chuck Schumer? Do we really need that? Do we have to have Chuck Schumer say, you will rue the day, you will reap the whirlwind, you won't know what hit you? You sound stupid. If you're debating this, you're an idiot. Just answer the question. If Donald Trump saying these exact words out his own mouth at the speech you said incited people to go to the Capitol and wreak havoc.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
If that is inciting a riot at the Capitol, if that is insurrectionist words, peacefully and patriotically, anything beyond that, peacefully, the word is peaceful. You know it's there. I know you heard it. You're not deaf. And if you're watching online, I know you saw the man say it because I'm playing the video as well. Jasmine Crockett says on her birthday, a gift to her would be taking down Elon Musk. What is taking it down? If we can parse the words peacefully and patriotically into an insurrection, can't we do the same for Jasmine Crockett? Isn't there anyone who can say what she's asking for is more bombings? Isn't she asking for more political violence in her name? Isn't that what she's doing? Is there anybody who's got at least an ounce of credibility on the left who can say what she said was wrong and it should be condemned? No. You want to know why? Because you're losing and because you lost, because you're losers, because you have no integrity. You don't have an ounce of it. You don't have 1 ounce of it. No one takes you seriously because you are not serious. None of you are serious people. You are petulant children who lose and don't know how to lose. You are coming up from a generation of people who gave you participation trophies, where you win for not really doing anything, for just showing up. And you think because you show up, everybody's supposed to just feel bad for you. And if they don't feel bad for your victimhood, we're the bad guys. It doesn't matter whether or not you don't apply yourself. It doesn't matter whether or not you put the work in. It just matters that you get some sort of recognition. But the answer is no. The answer is always no. We beat you, and we're going to keep beating you. I believe that the momentum that we have today is going to continue to destroy you, because guess what? If you can't even look at the 2 examples I just gave you, which are evident, if you can't look at those 2 examples and just come out and say, you know what? These people who are talking about instilling fear in Elon Musk, these people who are talking about taking him down, these people are inciting rioters, these people who are saying that Elon Musk is killing people, is just as similar to Rachel Maddow and Bernie Sanders. Both of them people said, because of the health care in this country, Republicans are killing people. This incited James Hodgkinson to come from the Midwest, drive all the way down to Alexandria and shoot and almost kill Steve Scalise. When they went to his Facebook page, he was not only a volunteer for Bernie Sanders, he was an avid viewer of Rachel Maddow, where he had videos, and he was repeating verbatim the words of Rachel Maddow that Republicans were killing people because of their adversarial stance on the Affordable Care Act. This guy was repeating it. And Jasmine Crockett saying that she wants Elon Musk taken down while there's fire bombings happening at his dealerships, while people are threatening his life regularly, people are online openly saying someone needs to take him out. You know this is happening, and you're still arguing instead of just conceding. With all due respect, this is why you have no credibility. We'll take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Men, this is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And though I generally talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual health issues, today I want to talk about love, because love is the best reason to get treated for your ED. You see, ED can cause major relationship issues. In fact, men often push their partners away when ED becomes a problem. The condition can cause depression, arguments, breakups, and even contribute to divorce. But the good news is that if you're like most men suffering with ED, you can be successfully treated at Northeast Men's Health and put a stop to the relationship stresses that ED can cause. I say this with all confidence because we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Truly, it's likely you'll find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get the love back in your love life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices in the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
Tune in to WTIC News Talk 1080 for Healthy Rounds, hosted by Dr. Anthony Alessi. Saturday mornings 11 till noon. Learn from the top experts in their fields about the latest medical findings and call in with your medical question. Healthy Rounds is dedicated to providing accurate and timely health information and is sponsored by Hartford Healthcare, Ratchford Eye Center, St. Francis Hospital, Covaris, and Yukon Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Healthy Rounds, Saturday mornings 11 till noon on WTIC, News Talk 1080 and WTIC.com. And now, a WTIC News Update.
49 degrees at 3:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Low around freezing tonight, high of 60 tomorrow. It's been 5 weeks in the hospital for Pope Francis with pneumonia, but 2 of his closest advisors are predicting he will recover and that a new stage in his leadership will start after his release. President Trump says Boeing is being awarded a contract to produce the latest U.S. fighter jet. As CBS's Jason Brooks reports, that is sending Boeing stock up about 3%.
Boeing's expected to win hundreds of billions of dollars worth of orders once the fighter jet goes into production. And it's not just a jet, but a connected family of systems, including armed drone wingmen, which can be controlled by the pilot and artificial intelligence. It's a huge jolt for Boeing's turnaround efforts, with the aerospace company plagued over the past year with quality control issues in its commercial division and long delays with its next Air Force One replacement.
We'll check more Wall Street numbers coming up. The New York Times reports the Pentagon plans to brief Elon Musk on a plan for a potential war with China were canceled. London's Heathrow Airport is reopened after a fire that's not deemed suspicious. It was closed most of the day, though. The cause unknown. The BBC's Sean Dilley is there.
It's not just an airport, it's national security. United States and the United Kingdom, for the most part, depending on the administrations of the day, of course, incredibly close when it comes to national security matters. But ultimately, this could cost so many millions of US dollars to the economy here.
The impact will be felt for days across the U.S. and Europe because the trouble is at a major hub. Heathrow says it hopes to return to a full schedule tomorrow. The U.S. Border Patrol has arrested and detained Canadian and European travelers for extended periods recently. A German tourist says he was held for 16 days in San Diego before being allowed to go home. At least 3 other international travelers say they were detained at the border and held for an extended period without charges. The incidents are fueling anxiety among travelers. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 119, S&P is minus 22, NASDAQ is minus 20. And we check the WTIC forecast.
Clouds continue to give way to some sun for our Friday afternoon. Windy, though, with those winds gusting past 45 miles an hour at times. It could be locally damaging, the high of 52. Breezy this evening, otherwise mainly clear and chilly with the low down to 34. Mostly cloudy, milder and breezy on our Saturday with the high moving up to 59. On Sunday, mostly cloudy, windy, and cooler, that high of 46, so feel chilly with the gusty winds. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
49 degrees now. Men's NCAAs. UConn plays Oklahoma tonight at about 9:25. It's on TNT. Early winners for your brackets today, Baylor, Alabama, and Iowa State. In other action, it's Colorado State now leading Memphis 52-48 mid-second half. Men's hockey East final tonight in Boston. UConn plays Maine. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
At Columbia Dental, we love to make kids smile. Our expert pediatric dentists specialize in children's dental care, making every visit fun and comfortable. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever for a single line. Just $45 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get one line on unlimited welcome for $45 per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Hartford Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Hi, Joel Johnson here with Johnson Brunetti. Hey, retirement income. Are you sure that you're maximizing your retirement income? Get the retirement income checklist from us, absolutely free. Text the word checklist to 1-800-705-1232. Again, call or text the word checklist to 1-800-705-1232. A checklist to maximize your retirement income.
Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Coverage varies by plan, view contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000
Yeah,
to
Jason,
replace
we're
the
going to get into
transmission.
that. Thank you.
$4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-380-9012. 800-380-9012. Again, that's 800-380-9012.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Thank you, Ben.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit ConsumerCellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mow.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. For over 3 decades, Cordell & Cordell has been on the front lines of family law. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of. And you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Hartford area attorneys. Phyllis McCutcheon, licensed in Connecticut. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no...
1 minute.
His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Yes. Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second-guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or You could work with the expertise of a
Engine.
here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. No, you're gonna hear about it.
I don't think I have that many grievances today, other than just stupidity. But then again, that's every day. I don't need a day of grievance for that. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC, the airing of grievance Friday on the show. So if you got one, give us a call, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. I liken it to Open Line Friday that Uncle Rush used to do all the time. Polly said something interesting. She goes, wait a minute, you call yourself the illegitimate child of Rush Limbaugh, yet you call him Uncle Rush. Okay, you have to understand that in the hood, only kids from back in the days would know this, is that if your mom was dating a guy that was somebody other than your father, it was very popular in the hood for you to have to refer to that person as an uncle. It's sick and twisted, but guys know, some of you know what I'm talking about. You've heard that term before. So, yeah, when I say I'm the illegitimate love child, that's just because he's near and dear to me. But Uncle Rush has always been who he was. I want to bring this up before I get to the phones. The group Indivisible, I should say, which is heavy in Connecticut. They've got some $6 million in their war chest that they use for all of these protests. They are very much behind this March 29th protest of Elon Musk. And they held this online training session, which was, try this, instructing radical supporters behind the Tesla attacks on how to avoid federal snooping. In essence, to stay off the federal radar. Now, why? Why would Indivisible, entertaining their First Amendment right to protest, why would they be holding secret campaigns to tell people how to stay out of sight from the feds? I'll tell you why. Because this is not going to be a peaceful protest. There's no intent. Never has been, never will be. And, Don said something in the chat room where he says that, both sides incite violence. Slow down. What are you, 6? Don't be a 6-year-old. Hear me out. Let me play this for you. I'm gonna lay this out for you. Do you have children? If you do, let's take 2 kids. And the one you catch going into the cookie jar turns around and looks at you and says, well, he did it. Do they all get off now? Well, the other one did it. Oh, that's why you did it. Oh, no harm, no foul. Is that how you treat life? Because I'm still trying to understand why people keep telling me, well, it happened on both sides. I don't care. So what? This point is being made for what? Don't hold any moral high ground if both sides do it. Get how that works? Don't give me the nonsense about, well, they did it first. I got to be honest with you. I can make that stupid argument for January 6th. I can turn around and say, you know what? They attacked the Capitol building they paid for. Yeah. They had every legal right, since they are taxpayers, to go attack a building, that they paid for. That's right. Break that window. Why not? I paid for it. I'm pretty sure I paid 5 times as much to get a regular window. I bet you that window costs more than a window in my house does. The way the government works and the way it overspends my money. Hell, I'd say in the way in which they abuse me through taxes, I had every right to come down there and knock a window out or 2. Or how about this? Hey, I lived in Ferguson, Missouri, and my hardware store got torn down by Black Lives Matter and Antifa protests. And you know what the federal government did? The federal government, what's her name? Kamala Harris in particular, promoted the bail bondsman that helped those people get out of jail, but nobody gave me any money to rebuild my hardware store. You know what? What's a window or 2 down in Washington? I can make that stupid argument all day. I mean, come on, folks. I mean, I try to get into these conversations with everybody, and you know what? They stink. keep going back to this infantile argument. Everybody does it. So there should be no checks and balances because everybody does it. How far does it go? Seriously, let's go down that rabbit hole. Everybody kills. Huh? We got millions of people in jail on murder. How about we just get rid of it? Makes no sense, right? Well, he killed too. Huh? We have people robbing banks all the time. Oh, am I going too far now? Am I going too far on the, it happens all the time? Yeah, I thought so. Let's get this stupidity out of the way. 860-522-WTIC. Please tell me how Donald Trump's peacefully and patriotically is associated with Hang Mike Pence. Please. And do it succinctly without sounding like a douche.
Good Lord. Okay. It was already, the entire side has been called childish. Let's see.
Wait. You're not on that side. Remember, you're not a Democrat. You're not a Democrat.
I'm not
so
a
don't.
Democrat,
Okay.
And I denounce the obvious, both Democratic and Republican violence, stoking of violence, all of that sort of stuff has to stop. You went down there, right? 80 cops on January 6th were injured, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Mike Bannon on national programming was talking about how wild it was.
Steve Bannon.
Steve Bannon. The president continued on. Rudy Giuliani, just before Trump got up there, was saying this was like trial by combat. On and on it goes. You mentioned.
Tell me the exact words that said attack the Capitol.
The attack the Capitol. He
say
said
the words. Wait, because they would play them. Wait. Tim, I already said it, Tim. I already said it. If anyone said attack the Capitol, the news media that hates Donald Trump would play it on a loop. They don't have the audio because it was never said.
You bring out so many bad things, like the Proud Boys guy. You remember the mob head boss, the Godfather.
Again, we're talking about Donald Trump, not Torrio. Listen, we're talking about Donald Trump, not Torrio. Again, so we have Jasmine Crockett, who's an elected official, and we have Donald Trump, who's an elected official. I'm comparing the two. Wait, I'm comparing the two. Jasmine Crockett and Donald Trump. Donald Trump's words were peacefully and patriotically, and Jasmine Crockett's words were take Elon down. So if you want to go parse by parse, if you want to go word by word, which one said, or which one can be construed as an act of violence?
I condemn both. And
it's not what I asked you, sir. It's not what I asked you. Just answer my question, or I'll just hang up the call. Hang up. I'll ask. As the host of this show, I'm asking the question. Which one sounds like an inciting of violence? Because I just want, you can say anything you want after you answer my question.
No, I can't, because you won't let me even talk.
I'm going to say it one more time. Listen, which one sounds more like an inciting of violence? Peacefully and patriotically, or Jasmine Crockett's take
like
Elon down? What?
Taking down could mean two things. It could be, taking him down, getting rid of him, and all that sort of stuff, or it could mean violence. If
getting rid of him,
violence, let me. Well, he's not elected, but apparently we're going to give him, military plans for attack China.
No, that's not true.
National security.
That's not true.
They said it too.
So what they said it?
They said it.
I don't care if they said it.
The Pentagon said. It was reported.
I told my wife I'm going to do the dishes. I'm not.
You don't believe in the New York Times reporting.
No.
You don't believe all that sort of stuff. Always denounce violence. Always both sides.
So you're telling me that Jasmine Crockett's words sound more like violence than Donald Trump's peacefully and patriotically, right? You're admitting that.
If that's all you're going to selectively edit, yeah. But
selectively edit?
Both. Selectively edit the entire speech. Selectively edit what was geared up before. Selectively, you tell the American
wait, hold on. The year
before
before?
The election was stolen. Did he or did he not tell the American people the election was stolen?
Yes, and tell me where the election was stolen.
So
wait.
It is.
Tim, tell me where the election was stolen means attack the Capitol.
If you are trying to defend your country, of course, absolutely.
The election was stolen sounds like
stolen.
attack your capital?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Because people
All
are
right.
stealing
No.
your
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this, and it's the last time I'm going to say it. It's the first and the last time I'm going to say it. That man is officially out of his gourd. Officially. Saying that the election was stolen means attack the Capitol. What the hell did Hillary Clinton say in 2016 then? Hillary Clinton said that the election was stolen by Russians. She said a foreign country intervened in an election that caused her to lose it. That should have been an act of war by comparison. She might as well have been calling for a war on Russia. Donald Trump says the election was stolen from him by people in the country. He believes that that meant to storm the Capitol. Then what the hell does Russian interference mean? Democrats, rethink. Just rethink. I'm trying to help you. Do you understand that? I don't have to. I don't even need to. I shouldn't. Your political demise is a wonderful thing. It's one I celebrate constantly. I laugh at you nightly on television as you seriously turn yourself into a pretzel trying to explain yourselves to your own people, if not to yourselves. But I'm trying to help you. You don't make sense. Seriously, you either all belong in a straitjacket or you all belong on a short bus with a hockey helmet. No one can be this stupid. No one can. But you are proving to me every day that you are. Do you understand that? If Donald Trump saying that the election was stolen before January 6th and then saying peacefully and patriotically go to the Capitol means storm the Capitol, if those two things coexist, then Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, and every other person who was on national television inside the Capitol building screaming Russian interference, there should have been a war against Vladimir Putin. Do you understand what you're saying? Please, help yourselves, because I can't anymore. We'll move on. We've got more news, more views when we return. It's Reese on the Radio, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Hard work and dreams lead to success, but easily filing your taxes with TurboTax and Credit Karma doesn't hurt either. Make filing taxes a walk in the park, because we'll pre-fill your info for you so you can file quickly and confidently. Winner! Get the peace of mind that comes with expert help. Let's go! Being powered by TurboTax means you're backed by the leading tax preparer, and we'll show you all your filing options up front so there are no surprises. File your taxes on Intuit Credit Karma today. Expert help not available with all products. Guarantee details available at turbotax.com/guarantee.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and almost 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. And if you think this is just a cosmetic problem, think again. Varicose or spider veins, if left untreated, can lead to swollen or discolored legs, cramping, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, even worse, blood clots, which can travel to other parts of your body. But here's the good news. Advanced Medical Vein Treatment Centers offers plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-597-7992. That's 800-597-7992. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your vein problems will not go away on their own, and in time can lead to major health issues. Call Advanced Medical Vein today for free information on fast and easy solutions that are covered by most insurance plans, Medicare included. Call 800-597-7992. That's 800-597-7992 today.
Prescriptions require an online healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at HIMSS.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to HIMSS.com/joy. That's HIMSS.com/joy for your free online visit.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
All right, we're back. It's Reese on the Radio, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Rick writes, hello, I still don't understand why you give Tim from Hamden any airtime. It's like I said before, if the milk in the refrigerator were sour, he would blame Donald Trump. All this man has to do is talk about the things that Donald Trump has done wrong. And I'm not going to read that part. That's just mean. Anyway, look, I don't understand it either, but look, I'm going to say something that I shouldn't say because in one way it's a compliment, but it's very left-handed. I need people to understand, especially Democrats who listen to this program, that Tim is an example of you. Tim is all of you consolidated. That's who he is. And let me give you a couple examples. He always makes sure to tell us he's not a Democrat, but he is a liberal, which again is redundant. Democrats are liberals. Liberals are Democrats. It's just it. It's just a fact. Liberalism is a disease. It's a mental one, but it still is. It's like dealing with an alcoholic. Right? You don't know that you're sick, and some people don't address the sickness or people with it like it's a sickness. It's not like cancer. You wouldn't yell at somebody who has cancer, but you would yell at somebody who drinks a lot. Why don't you stop drinking? You wouldn't say, why don't you get rid of that cancer? You wouldn't do it. It is a disease. It's a mind disease, but it is. It just is. Unfortunately, in this case, it's a self-induced one. See, cancer happens to you. But if you ever notice that, look at the way that liberals look at pregnancy. When you hear these people say, well, if I was to get pregnant, I would just have to have it. Acting like it's a growth that just happens to a woman. Whatever that is, according to a Democrat. Like, they don't understand that you actually have to do something to get pregnant. They think someone just happens to be. They go, wake up in the morning and I'm pregnant. That's a mental problem. It's a mental disease.
Well, technically, Jesus.
Get out of here. One time. Just one time. And they say that that's it. Let's get a check on the weather with Jason Catarinas. But first, Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, boss?
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone.
I had to get you.
I knew it. Of I-84, look out for an accident between exit 44 and 43. The right lane is shut down there. Delays are back. Approaching the Bulkley Bridge behind that. Eastbound 84, you're slowing. 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley. Southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32A and B. If you are northbound 91, that looks good. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291, 384 looking good east of the river. 2 eastbounds in good shape. Glastonbury into Marlboro. 2 westbounds a little slow as you merge with the 84 West. 9 northbound, a little slowdown at the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. Look out for an accident now. Northbound on the Parkway up by exit 67. Delays are almost back to exit 66 behind that problem. And if you are heading on the westbound side of 84, heading into Waterbury right now, you're going to see slow traffic, sluggish and stop and go 26 in Cheshire up to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound a little tight between 17 and 18 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound Danbury tight 3 to 5. Again, from 9 to exit 11 in Newtown. And if you're traveling on the southbound side of 95 in New Haven, you're slowing 44 down to exit 42 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Clouds continue to give way to some sun for our Friday afternoon. Windy, though, with those winds gusting past 45 miles an hour at times. It could be locally damaging, the high of 52. Breezy this evening, otherwise mainly clear and chilly with the low down to 34. Mostly cloudy, milder and breezy on our Saturday with the high moving up to 59. On Sunday, mostly cloudy, windy, and cooler, that high of 46, so feel chilly with the gusty winds. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
49 degrees, 4 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. High around 50 this afternoon, low about 32 tonight, going up to 60 tomorrow. The UConn women play Arkansas State tomorrow in Stores, first round of the NCAA tournament. Gino Auriemma expecting the usual outstanding play from Paige Beckers.
She's the way she's always been. And, you know, if you see her runs through the tournament, they've all been great. You know, one thing you can say about Paige is, generally speaking, she saves her best basketball for the biggest moments.
Game time, 1 p.m., TV on ABC. The UConn men play their first round game tonight against Oklahoma. Tip-off about 9:25 on TNT. The New York Times reports plans to brief Elon Musk on a plan for a potential war with China were canceled, and Boeing awarded a contract to produce a new fighter jet. Here's the latest.
CBS News Brief. President Trump denies Elon Musk was going to be shown confidential information today. CBS's Aaron Navarro.
Trump really talked a lot about the New York Times story about Elon Musk reportedly going to the Pentagon to meet and see plans for a future war with China. Trump said that was false.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says Musk was there to discuss innovation and efficiencies. CBS's Charlie Daggett reports Trump has announced who will build the Air Force's future fighter jets.
In a place where it's hard to keep secrets, this has been one of the best kept secrets. The next generation air dominance platform, the F-47, it's been awarded to Boeing.
CBS News Brief. I'm Michael Wallace.
More firings now. Trump has now dismissed nearly the entire civil rights branch of the Department of Homeland Security. There's a hearing ongoing this afternoon. Judge James Boasberg considering his next move after the Justice Department yesterday failed to turn over more information on deportees alleged to be members of a Venezuelan gang.
The judge has called at least some members of the Department of Justice to appear before him to answer some questions. Now, he has had a series of questions about those deportations last Saturday. When did the planes take off? When did they clear U.S. airspace? When did they land? He hasn't gotten answers to those questions. He's gotten arguments from the Department of Justice why they don't believe they should.
Boasberg says the government has evaded its obligations. President Trump has suggested judges who question his authority should be impeached. Chief Justice John Roberts objected to that idea in a statement this week. London's Heathrow Airport is reopened after a fire that's not deemed suspicious. The cause is unknown. The airport was closed all day. CBS's Ian C. says Heathrow is a major hub, so this is a major disruption.
Hundreds of thousands of people travel through Heathrow on a daily basis. About 1,300 flights it operates. And so there is a lot of disruption, as you can imagine. 120 planes had to turn back.
Heathrow says it hopes to return to a full schedule Saturday. There's more money for the Hartford schools. Mayor Arunan Arulampalam is announcing an additional $3 million in funding for the city's Board of Ed. He says the money will be directed towards critical needs. He's also announcing a year-long process to identify at least $3 million in savings. Parts of Brantford are impacted by a water main break. The Regional Water Authority tells residents on more than a dozen streets to boil their water. The streets include Damascus Road and DeForest Drive. A 20-inch main was breached, causing a loss of water pressure. The Dow closing up 32 points. S&P climbed 4 points. The NASDAQ is plus 92. Sports. NCAA tournament. UConn plays Oklahoma tonight about 9:25. Early winners, Baylor, Alabama, and Iowa State. 4 minutes left. Colorado State leading Memphis 66-60. Men's Hockey East Championship tonight in Boston. UConn plays Maine. ECAC semis in a few minutes. Quinnipiac takes on Cornell. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
The law firm of
Come on, man.
Scott understands that divorce can be intimidating, and the decisions you make today will impact your life forever. Divorce is complicated. There's a lot at stake when considering your future. At Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott, our team of family attorneys have over 100 years of combined experience and understand every family law case is different. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer, you get a full-service law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Katie Bissonette is responsible for the content of this ad.
Connecticut hospitals care for more than just patients. They care for our workforce, creating 245,000 jobs. They care for our economy as the largest employer in Connecticut. They care for our communities, connecting residents to health screenings, nutritious food, and stable housing. And they care for our future, making healthcare accessible, equitable, and affordable. Connecticut hospitals create real change by caring for Connecticut. Learn more at caringforct.org.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Do you know my entire life I grew up in the neighborhood of Run DMC, and I've never owned a Run DMC hat or shirt. If you're watching on ReeseOnRadio.com, I bought my first Run DMC shirt, hat, I should say, today, because I saw it. I was like, oh, Run DMC. I was like, you know what? I'm an adult now. I can buy it. My mom would have never allowed me to buy a Run DMC T-shirt or any of that stuff. That just name brands weren't the thing. And Shell Toe Adidas, for those of you who are old enough to remember, Shell Toe Adidas were that was the official brand of the rap group Run DMC. I didn't own a pair because I couldn't afford one as a kid, but I didn't own a pair until I was about 35 years old, maybe. Yeah, maybe a little older than that. That was the first time I owned a pair, and I'm actually glad I didn't, because those are the worst things to wear on your feet. You couldn't walk around them regularly, and it did nothing for my arches. But that was the closest I'd ever gotten to anything that was Run DMC related, was a pair of Shell Toe Adidas sneakers. And I've never owned a Run DMC shirt, and I went and looked for one today, and I couldn't find it, but I found the hat, so I'm wearing it today. And, of course, paying homage to Hollis, Queens, where both of us were raised, or all three of us were raised. And I'm still a huge Run DMC fan. Of course, you know that Stupidest Thing is Dumb Girl by Run DMC, if you heard it. We're going to get into a whole bunch of stuff. The stupidest thing I read today, that's an interesting one. I've found a new name for a proposed talk show for Don Lemon and Joy Reid. I think that the two of them should do a talk show together. I think it would be moderately successful. I mean, successful for the left, but I have a name for them. They are actually featured in the stupidest thing I read today. And we'll play that audio for you as well, coming up in about a half an hour. So stick around for that. But I have a proposed name for a buddy talk show for Don Lemon and Joy Reid. I think you'd like this, because I think it's perfect for the both of them. Also, when we come back, I've got more news and more views on this day of reckoning for, Elon Musk, and why the Democrats are really, really upset about Trump supporters not being, not rallying behind Democrats. And it's a long, convoluted story. We'll get to that. Jason Caterina's got your weather, but Mark Christopher, he's at the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, big guy?
Well, Reese, thank you very much. This traffic report is being brought to you by the Connecticut Prevention Network. If you're 91 southbound coming into Hartford, you got delays approaching 33 Jennings Road down at 32 A and B. Again, a little slowed down by exit 28 on the Hartford Weathersealed line. Northbound 91, that looks good. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. The eastbound side of 84 is slowing from 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley. 291 through 84 looking good east of the river. 2 eastbounds in great shape, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 2 westbounds a little slow as you merge with 84 west. Heading into Middletown, you're okay. 9 in the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound in Waterbury, some slow traffic as you move between 17 and 18. Westbound 84 in Waterbury slowing from 25 up to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound in Danbury slowing 3 to 5. 84 eastbound in Newtown slowing 9, outtakes at 11. Now, if you are traveling on the northbound side of the Wilbur Cross Parkway, got heavy traffic between 66 and 67 from an earlier accident there. Southbound 91 slowing 19 to 17 in Meriden. And if you're heading into New Haven, 95 southbound, some slow traffic, 44 down to 42 in West Haven. Did you know that Connecticut Regional... Let me try that again. Take 3. Did you know that Connecticut has a regional suicide advisory board that helps to eliminate suicide by focusing on prevention and postvention response? Visit PreventSuicideCT.org to learn more. And if you or someone you know needs support, call or text 988. Amplify our mental health. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Still breezy this evening, otherwise mainly clear and chilly with a low down to 32. Breezy and warmer with some sun, then turning cloudy on Saturday, the high of 60. Clear to partly cloudy, and you guessed it, breezy Saturday night, the low down to 26. Mostly cloudy, windy, and cooler Sunday, the high 46. Going to feel chilly. Periods of rain for Monday. That's going to be a damp, raw, and chilly feeling day with the high of 47. 50 in Meriden, 45 in Waterbury, 50 in Danbury, 49 in Hartford right now. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth from Money Wisdom. Tune in this week and every week to gain a better understanding of taxes, retirement income, and long-term care. The Money Wisdom, Saturdays at 8:30 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch
Indeed,
the replay
Lori,
from 5 to
100%
6
right.
p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
O'Reilly Veriscan is a free check engine light testing program that pulls from over 600 million vehicle scans confirmed by ASC certified technicians to provide a simple report and possible fixes available exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If your air conditioner and furnace are over 10 years old, they've pretty much gone to the dogs. But at Ayala Home Services, we can fetch you a free furnace with our 2-for deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a new air conditioning system, you receive a free furnace. We also offer free, no-obligation estimates for these new systems. Call, click, or text and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. P102776688, D104014665, D1185643, S3308699, HIC 628926, SM3004646, HOD 635, HOD 223.
RuPaul's Drag Race is back with a wet
1 minute.
season, and you can watch it all on MTV with Philo. With Philo, you can enjoy live TV from your favorite channels like MTV, VH1, AMC, Discovery, BET, and more. Plus, an unlimited DVR that lets you save and rewatch anything you want for up to a year.
That's not what I did, Tim. I said don't be a douche. That's different.
Anytime, and the entire AMC Plus library, all for just $28
I said,
a
can
month.
you do it
You sign
without
up
being a
at
douche?
philo.tv.
That's all I said.
Enjoy Philo on your laptop, tablet, phone, or TV, and stream on up to 3 devices at once. So what are you waiting for? Dive into the splashiest extravaganza yet and start watching the new season of RuPaul's Drag Race live on MTV with Philo for an unbeatable price.
And 10.
Thank you, sir. And make sure you get the best price for the TV you love. Visit philo.tv today. That's PHILO.tv.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
I want to do something different. Roland, if I could. So I think on Fridays, there used to be something that was done here on Fridays during this break. I want to do something a little different. I'm a huge music fan. And yesterday, my wife and I were on a drive for about 21 minutes. And I've got this thing. I don't drive anywhere that's longer than 4 songs. So when my wife asked me to drive for 20 minutes, that's at least 6 songs. But in order for me to deal with the drive, I have to put on music. And so this past drive that we took, I played The Cure, a group she's heard of, but she's never listened to. And I played Close to Me by The Cure. And for those of you who know the song, my wife, not a fan, to which I was really mortified that she didn't like that song. It's a cute song, and for those of you who know The Cure, a lighthearted departure from The Cure and their usual sound. So on Friday, I think next week what I'm going to do is I want to introduce some of the songs that I really like. Some of you will know them, some of you might not, but they are off the beaten path and they sort of have a theme. So around the 5 o'clock hour next week, I'm probably going to play some songs here and there. Just some songs that maybe, if you have never heard of them, you could actually make a part of your repertoire if you like them. And you can also tell me what you think of them, right? So, I listen to the songs and I go, wow, this is a really, really good song. And then other people hear it and they go, Jesus, that's garbage. What's wrong with you? I like that kind of critique. It is a conversation I think many of you had about music. It's, sort of like that conversation that everybody ends up having. It's like, what do you think is the best song made by this guy? Or who do you think the best guitarist is? I love those kinds of debates. So we'll see if we can do that. Yes, she has heard Fire Woman, and she can't deny that song is great. Anyway, let's go to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Steven is in Middletown. How you doing, boss?
Hey, good. Yourself?
I'm great. What's going on?
Good. All right, a couple of things here. Jasmine Crockett, for her birthday, she wants to take down Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Is that the rumor?
Yeah.
For her birthday, I'm going to donate to this guy, I believe it's Sheldon Daniels.
Yes.
Who's going to be running against her.
Yes.
Down in Texas.
Did you see the video of Sheldon Daniels? He found that elderly couple who had contributed close to $15,000 to her last campaign, and they knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
That was a great video.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Contribute to his campaign so we can finally get her up out of there.
Yeah. Second thing,
yes, sir.
Reporting from the New York Times.
Yes.
Just off the top of my head, after you had your caller in there talk about how the New York Times reported it, so it must be true.
Indeed.
Well, let's go through just a few things that they screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
They never reported during World War II about what Hitler was doing to the Jews.
Indeed.
They kept that off the front pages.
In fact, I think you're absolutely right. In fact, the New York Times refused to report on the Holocaust.
Yeah. The New York Times covered up Stalin's Holocaust.
That's correct.
They wouldn't report. In fact, they gave glowing reports about Cuba after the revolution.
Also true.
And of course, the Russian collusion hoax.
I was waiting for it. I didn't want to step on your toes there, Stephen. I was waiting for you, but you're 100% right. All of that is true. And the old gray lady has never been the same again after every one of those. And remember, they took the Neville Chamberlain approach to Hitler over at the New York Times, which they're like, no, he would never invade the New York Times, the stellar, wasn't it a paper of record, New York Times. I love every part of what you just said. And thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Let's go to George in Canton. How we doing, George?
Well, greetings to you, Rick.
There's my voice. How are you, sir?
Oh, a little homage to the great one, Rush Limbaugh.
Indeed.
Yes. Hey, Reese, when I listen to Tim from Hamden, your show. Let me get my words in order here. Before I say, the guy that was just released a couple of weeks ago, maybe the cannibal.
Yes, Tyree Smith.
Okay. Yeah. They said, well, ever since he's been incarcerated, he hasn't eaten anybody. Oh, yeah, he's been taking his meds. Well, the problem with psychosis is, as you just mentioned a moment ago, it's like any other mental illness, alcoholism or gambling or whatever. One has to recognize they have it.
That's right.
Before they can be treated for it.
That's right.
Your show
Sir? Oh, there he is. Okay, say again. Your show.
Your show is an intervention for the left. and now here, think about this. Interventions usually only exist between family and friends. In other words, people that love the addict.
That's right.
And the addict, more than likely, isn't even going to accept his illness when the people telling him he or she has it love them.
That's right.
Now, the liberals out there don't love you.
No.
They don't love me.
Nope.
So when we point out their mental illness, they aren't going to recognize it. They're not going to get treatment. Oh, but who would they go to if they were? A psychiatrist. Oh, wait a minute. Aren't they all 90% liberal? So they need, as Ed Koch used to, or as Don Imus used to say, they need a checkup from the neck
up.
Yeah, and you do, of course, Ed Koch, that one of the last statesmen in the Democrat Party, Ed used to say, if you agree with me on 7 out of 10 items or issues, vote for me. If you agree with me on 10 out of 10, see a psychiatrist.
That's
these people, they are indeed suffering from a psychosis. But if they won't admit it, now take, for example, Fetterman. Fetterman, somehow his treatment, he's looked in the mirror.
Yeah.
And he has said, I'm not just a senator for Democrats in Pennsylvania. I'm a senator for the state and a senator for the country.
That's right.
The man has regained an equilibrium.
Isn't that wild? Isn't it wild? The guy who actually had a brain aneurysm, a stroke, might add you, sounds more reasonable in that call. In fact, he's the guy who the rest of the left is screaming at for sounding reasonable.
And he got treatment.
Yeah.
So it's like anything else. You know, if you were had an addiction or a weight problem, when you begin to lose that, you lose your circle of friends. They don't want to hang around you anymore. You're not one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's
they
true.
attack Fetterman. This is the neurosis and psychosis is so evident to those of us who don't have it.
Yeah.
We're normal. We're healthy. Those people they need a checkup from the neck up.
Thank you
but
so
they
much,
won't
George.
Admit it.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank
I
you,
much
Reese.
appreciate you, sir. Let's go to Steve in Springfield. George is great. I love his voice. Hey,
Reese,
how are
so
you,
that's
sir?
sweet. I'm not working now. I can talk to you. I got to say something real fast. That's the reason why the Allied soldiers took pictures of the Holocaust when they went in there, because the Times was lying about it.
That's right. That's correct. And they had to go in there and do their own recon to actually report to the American people what was really taking place, because, again, they knew that the propagandized New York Times wasn't going to tell them.
Right. The main reason for my call was your previous caller. He started talking about the whole thing about the election being stolen, and we're also talking about Antifa. And this is a typical left tactic to start bringing up extra stuff. Instead of debating one topic from start to finish, let's do both of them from start to finish.
Right.
Okay, because that's what we're going to do here. Okay, now, this whole thing about the election being stolen, okay? I was watching all of the state legislatures from all around the country. They were having hearings about voter fraud. And what would happen is some little twerp Secretary of State or somebody was certifying the election, basically interfering with each state's power to investigate voter fraud.
Exactly.
They just put a cap on it.
Yeah. And I think that was the thing, the
that's why-
demonization of the demonization of the investigation into voter fraud. Once that got weaponized, you couldn't even move.
They basically capped it with some stupid authority, and then what wound up happening. That's why 25 states had a class action lawsuit for 25 states to investigate voter fraud at the Supreme Court, and John Roberts refused to see it. Only 3 judges did that.
Isn't it crazy?
Thomas and the other 2.
Isn't it crazy that what we found out, even though the mainstream media didn't report it, and by the way, you could go to Action 11 News right now. That is Atlanta's premier news source right there. Independent news, Atlanta 11 News, Action 11 News. You can go there right now, and you can watch that committee hearing where they admit that there were over 300,000 ballots that had no confirmational signatures on any of them. Over 300,000 in the 2020 election that they had no accounting for.
Before I go to the other topic, John Roberts should be impeached on that alone because he interfered with the investigations that the states were doing. Now, the other thing, your other caller, he had to bring in the whole thing about Antifa and all that stuff, because that's what liberals do. They change the subject so that no subject is completed from start from finish in the debate. They do that all the time. Well, and have you ever read that book Unmasked by, I think it's Andrew No?
No, but of course I know Andrew No, but I've never read any of his books.
Because he was beaten within half an inch of his life by the Antifa thugs.
Because of that book, I think that was they put a hit out on him.
They did, and not only that, they actually it actually talks about people that infiltrated Antifa in that book. And you know one of the first things that they do when you join Antifa?
What's that?
You get like a cyber course on becoming a computer freak, so that you know how to mask everything you're doing and how to camouflage it.
That's interesting.
That's a great book.
Okay, I will check it out. Now that it sounds interesting to me. I was just right up my alley. Thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate you, sir. You got it. We'll take a bunch of your phone calls because the phones are lighting up now because I know it's Friday. Everybody's got something to opine about. So I promise you I will get to them. So stick around if you wish to. If you can, I totally understand. We'll get to that. I got to get to the stupidest thing I read today. That's coming up soon as well. I've got some other stuff because if you've heard, in fact, I got a little time to play it now, so I will. And if you want to talk about this, you can. So we know that Bernie Sanders is getting a lot of burn in the Democrat Party right now because he's going on tour with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And it's called the Fight the Oligarchy tour. And they're getting a lot of crowds because the socialists in this country love a good Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez speech. And they feel like their efforts were thwarted in 2016 by the likes of Hillary Clinton. And they're no fans of the Democrat Party. Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez believe that they can get that Bernie Sanders, the Bernie bros, the Bernie gals, they can gin up that same support. But I want you to listen to this. This is from a woman by the name of Batya Unger Sargon. Again, Batya Unger Sargon. She was on Real Time with Bill Maher this weekend. Also this weekend, she was on Fox News. This woman is a leftist. She is on the left, a liberal. A liberal. And she explains Donald Trump the way no one can. But what I love about this woman is that she has the receipts. So listen, Bernie Sanders, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez are talking about fight the oligarchy. This is Batya Unger Sargon's response to why that tour is so stupid.
There is such an irony to Democrats talking about oligarchy because, of course, for every one billionaire that backed President Trump, Kamala Harris had 2. 9 of the 10 richest counties in America are represented by Democrats. 65% of Americans making over $500,000 a year today are Democrats. 75% of hedge fund managers who make political donations donate to Democrats, and 95% of political donations from the top 3 management consulting firms go to Democrats. Meanwhile, President Trump absolutely crushed with Americans who make under $100,000 a year.
I'll play the rest of that when we return. Stick around. Everything the Democrats do is phony. And Batya breaks that down. So stick around. We got that stupidest thing that I read today. First, we got our weather with Jason Catarinas in the Weather Center and Mark Christophers in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, southbound 91, look for delays 33 down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28. You'll slow again as you move by exit 20, Country Club Road in Middletown, sluggish down to exit 17 for the Wilbercross Parkway. Northbound 91's a little slow by the Route 9 interchange in Cromwell. After that, a good ride Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up, approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford. You're slow to 47 Sigourney, then you open up. 84 eastbound's tight about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 384 okay. 2 westbound's a little slow as you merge to the 84 west. Good ride through Middletown, 9 in the Aragoni Bridge, slightly slow westbound 84 Waterbury 23 into the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound again sluggish in Waterbury 17 up to 18. 84 eastbound Danbury tied up 3 to 5. Again some slow traffic from 8 in Danbury out to exit 11 in Newtown on the eastbound side of 84. Southbound on the Parkway a little slow as you move by exit 60 in Hamden. 95 South New Haven slows 46 down to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Clouds continue to give way to some sun on our Friday afternoon, and it's windy with the winds gusting past 45 miles an hour, and so they may be locally damaging. The high of 52. Still breezy tonight, otherwise mainly clear and chilly with the low down to 34. Saturday, mostly cloudy, milder, but still breezy. The high of 59. On Sunday, mostly cloudy, windy, and cooler. The high 46. Going to feel kind of chilly with those strong west-northwest winds. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080. And now, a WTIC news update.
49 degrees at 4:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. The state inspector general says a Hartford police officer used reasonable force to defend himself in a fatal 2023 shooting. Officer Brian Silliman pursued 44-year-old Jamie Grant after a confrontation at a Mercedes-Benz dealership. At a traffic stop, Grant allegedly pointed a gun. Silliman fired, fatally shooting Grant. The inspector general says the shooting was justified. Hartford Mayor Arunan Arulapalam announced an additional $3 million in funding for the Board of Ed. It will be directed to critical needs. The mayor is also starting a year-long process to identify at least $3 million more in savings.
We want to make sure that we are cutting down on the administrative costs of education, and there's a number of ways we're doing that. We also want to make sure we're attacking special ed costs and rising special ed costs, and we're working to do that. This announcement was to be able to address some of the budget deficits that Hartford schools are facing in the short term, while also dealing with some of the structural issues that we have in the long run.
The mayor will announce his new city budget next week. It will take days to deliver stranded travelers to their destinations. After a fire shut down London's Heathrow Airport for much of the day, it's now reopened. The fire is not deemed suspicious, the cause unknown. Denise Darabee was stuck at Newark Airport.
I got the email at 3 a.m. that the flights were canceled. Now, my flight was not going to be till tonight, so I had a 7-hour layover, which I was prepared for in Newark. But I was not prepared for a fire at Heathrow, and my flight getting canceled, and nobody can reach British Airways.
Heathrow hopes to return to a full schedule Saturday. The stock price at embattled Tesla was up 5% today after a bit of a pep talk from Elon Musk.
Musk talked up what he calls a bright future for Tesla, in particular with autonomous driving and robotics, telling employees to hang on to their Tesla stock. Musk added that Tesla's Optimus robot will be available outside of internal company use by the second half of 2026, with initial sales going to Tesla employees. Employees and shareholders have seen Tesla's stock dive 40% in 2025 as sales have plunged in Europe and China, and Tesla dealerships have been attacked in a global backlash against Musk's involvement in the Trump administration.
CBS's Jason Brooks. On Wall Street, the Dow was up 32 points. S&P climbed 5 points. The NASDAQ was plus 92. Sports, the men's NCAA tournament. UConn plays Oklahoma at about 9:25 p.m. It's on TNT. Early winners, Baylor, Alabama, Iowa State, and Colorado State. Early second half, Duke blowing out Mount St. Mary's 61-34. UConn women play Arkansas State tomorrow at 1 in Stores. Men's Hockey East Championship tonight in Boston. UConn plays Maine. ECAC semis, first period, no score. Quinnipiac taking on Cornell. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker. WTIC 1080 News.
Ben, this is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and you've heard me talk a lot about how treating low testosterone can improve your sleep, your workouts, your energy levels, and more. But today I want to talk about your sex drive, because low testosterone can have a significant impact on your desire for intimacy. It can even be a factor in erectile dysfunction, and if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, a low sex drive could really be a problem. The good news is that if you're like most guys, treating a low T could really change the way you feel about sex, giving you back that flame and desire that is so important when you love someone. So if you're feeling sluggish and tired, if you're not sleeping well, if your workouts aren't that great, and most of all, if your sex drive is more like a putt, make an appointment at Northeast Men's Health and have your testosterone levels checked. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices in the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Are you having trouble hearing? Can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo.
stepped
Our
away
US-based
for 1 minute.
experts will get you switched
Yeah,
in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Let's do it.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
I cannot believe that someone would bother to say this out loud. But when no one's watching, I guess it kind of makes sense. Don Lemon, who has, I guess, a podcast on YouTube called The Don Lemon Show, interviewed cohort and, I guess, friend, former host of an MSNBC show, Joy Reid. And they were cackling up a storm. As they do, talking about things they know nothing about. The silliest people in the world. And I think as I watch this that I'm about to play for you, I thought the two of them should grab their meager audiences and pull them together and do a show together. And I've already figured out the name of the show because they do have something in common. Perhaps Don Lemon and Joy Reid, and if I'm saying it right, I don't know who's high on the victim totem pole, whether or not the gay black guy or the bald-headed black woman gets top billing, but whether they could or not, I could call it Lemon and Reid or Reid and Lemon. I think Lemon and Reid would be great, but call the show Fired with Don and Joy, or Joy and Don. Just call it Fired, because they both were. This is what Joy Reid said, actually, on the program.
You can't make Canada the 51st state without going to war with them. And let me explain how that happened, how that worked out the last time we tried to go to war with Canada. They burned the White House to the ground in 1814 and won the war. Canada beat us in the War of 1812. They probably liked their chances against us. We're not going to beat them in a war because we have never been able to do that. You'd have to occupy a country that is equivalent of the size of the United States, in which the top 2/3 of it is uninhabited, frozen forest land that touches the Arctic. You know how that worked out when the Nazis tried that with Russia?
Yes, they are that stupid. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. That's how stupid they are. Let's get a check of the weather with Jason Catarinas. But first, Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B, and again slowed down by exit 28. Northbound 91 is just running a little slow as you approach exit 20 Country Club Road in Middletown. Southbound 91 is just a little slow. Again, 19 down to 18 in Meriden. Now, if you're traveling on the westbound side of 84, delays East Hartford approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing 46 Sisson Avenue to the Bulkley. 291 through 84 is okay. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. If you're traveling 84 eastbound into Waterbury, some sluggish traffic 17 to 18. Westbound 84 to Waterbury slowing 23 up to the Mixmaster. If you're traveling into Danbury, 84 eastbound, you're going to see delays from 3 to 5. Again, slow traffic 8 out to exit 11 on the eastbound side of 84 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway, some slow traffic from 61 down to 60 in Hamden. South 95 is a little slow, 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
So breezy tonight, otherwise mainly clear and chilly with the low down to 32. Breezy and warmer Saturday, some sun early, then turning cloudy, the high of 60. It'll be clear to partly cloudy, breezy and cold on Saturday night, the low down to 26. Mostly cloudy, windy and cooler Sunday. It's going to feel chilly with the high of 46. Damp, raw, and chilly Monday with periods of rain, the high of 47. Right now it's 48 in New London. It's 46 in Mansfield. It's 48 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
It's the Peter L. Brown Company's 65th anniversary. For a limited time, purchase high-performance double-pane windows from the Peter L. Brown Company and get an upgrade to super-efficient triple-pane glass at no additional charge. For a free estimate, please visit peterlbrown.com.
It's Power Torque Tools DIY Days at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Save $20 on a Power Torque 248-piece mechanics tool set. Power Torque professional hand tools have a lifetime guarantee, available only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Middlesex Health welcomes the Connecticut Golf Show, March 21st through 23rd at the Connecticut Convention Center. See golf exhibits, top-level manufacturers with Chris Cody's Golf Shops, huge sales, golf simulators, lesson zones, and more. For details, ctgolfshow.com.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever for a single line. Just $45 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get one line on Unlimited Welcome for $45 per month with AutoPay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Hartford Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on Unlimited Welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Hey everybody, Chris Coonihan for Leaf Filter, America's protection company with over 1 million satisfied homeowners. I'm here to answer all of your home maintenance questions. I have Mary from Des Moines on the line. How can I help, Mary?
You're wrong. You'll see. $100.
Mary, you there?
Hey, Chris. Sorry. I'm calling to settle a bet with my husband. Okay, so is it better to deal with a clogged gutter now or wait until the weather's better?
Mary, the time is now. The longer you wait, the more damage you can have. Your husband may have lost this bet, but repairing your gutters can save your family thousands of dollars over the lifetime of your home.
But how much will it cost to get our gutters inspected?
Well, husband of Mary, leaf filter inspection and estimates are always free for new customers. And right now, if you go to leaffilter.com/gutter, you can get an additional 30% off.
I think I won here.
We both did. What's that site, Chris?
That's leaffilter.com/gutter. Visit today to schedule.
Here we go.
Inspection.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
It's Reese on the Radio, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. And now, I got people who are waiting on the phone. And now I've got to clear up my thing here, which is, of course, anytime you're not paying attention to the screen, you're going to lose the screensaver. Oh, that sucks. Okay, I'll figure it out. It doesn't matter. We'll go to this in a second. Anyway, I got plenty of news and plenty of views to get into anyway. So, again, this is, what's her name? Joy Reid. Listen, this is the whole thing. And again, starting with my whole thing, there's a mental illness going on here. The War of 1812? The United States can't win a war with Canada because of the War of 1812? You want to talk about people living in the past? This is ridiculous. This is the whole bit, so you can understand. And the worst part about it is that this woman was in the news business. Listen to what she says about the population of Canada versus the population of the United States. 30 million to 340, possibly 50 million, if you count illegals.
You can't make Canada the 51st state without going to war with them. And let me explain how that happened, how that worked out the last time we tried to go to war with Canada. They burned the White House to the ground in 1814 and won the war. Canada beat us in the War of 1812. They probably liked their chances against us. We're not going to beat them in a war because we have never been able to do that. You'd have to occupy a country that is equivalent of the size of the United States, in which the top 2/3 of it is uninhabited, frozen forest land that touches the Arctic. You know how that worked out when the Nazis tried that with Russia, which is the equivalent.
I'm still trying to understand. First of all, she's talking about the frozen part of Canada that is furthest away from the place where we would have to invade, the border. It's not like the frozen part of Canada is the actual part that's between us and the inhabitants of Canada. She's talking about the place that we never have to invade because it's north of where anybody lives. They are at the actual border. What she's talking about with Napoleon and what Hitler tried to do was to go through some of the frozen portions of Russia as Russia retreated, so to make sure that Russia ran out of food and rations and then attacked them when they were at their weakest. We would never have to do that. We're talking about Toronto, 45 minutes away from Buffalo. Seriously, stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Of Canada on that part of the world, we gonna lose. We don't have enough troops to occupy. They are a country of 39 million people.
39 million people. Yeah, 39 million people. How many people do we have?
Who have about as many guns per capita as we do.
The citizens of Canada have as many guns per capita as we do. Is she talking about the same Canada I'm talking about? She can't be. She cannot be. Let's go to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Ralph, what's going on, buddy?
Reese, her brain is the size of a gnat, and that's a very small gnat. The War of 1812 was fought with the British.
I know.
Not the French, and not Canada. And they lost it. They did burn the capital, but they lost the war.
Yeah.
But the reason I called is the hypocrisy, Reese, with the courts. When the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, they went ballistic.
Sure did.
Oh God, we've got to add more judges. We got to do this. We got a retirement. But when all this happens, crickets.
Yeah.
Not a word about. And these are Democratic judges, and these are judges who are not judges. They're political activists, and those aren't the kind of people that you want. As far as I'm concerned, I don't care what party it is. All I want is a judge who goes out there and says, okay, this is legal, this is not legal under the Constitution or current laws.
Ralph, stay with me. This is a very important thing you just brought up, and I'm hoping that I can find it in due course. You said that these people are activist judges. Well, remember, just yesterday and the day before that, I talked about how Chuck Schumer and Chris Murphy can't shut up, right? They have a tendency to keep running their mouth. To your point, Chuck Schumer on PBS. Listen to this.
There are those who believe that we are, in real time, living through an assault on the constitutional order. Do you believe that we are in a constitutional crisis right now?
Yes, our democracy is at risk because Donald Trump shows that he wishes to violate the laws in many, many different ways. The good news here is we did put 235 judges, progressive judges, judges not under the control of Trump last year on the bench, and they are ruling against Trump time after time after time.
So, again, while most people on the left would be saying to you, oh, that's conspiracy theory, Ralph, there's the de facto leader of the Democrat Party confirming exactly what you said. No more conspiracy.
Well, here's the problem, Reese. When he said they appointed progressive judges.
Exactly.
Not judges who will adhere to the Constitution and law.
Exactly.
Progressive judges.
Exactly right. Again, that's why I know I'm not concerned. And if I may say something, what I said in 2022 when I joined WTIC, I tell everybody, take a beat, chill. They've destroyed their own party. There is nothing for us to be outraged about. Nothing. But we got to call them as we see them. Because, again, as they trip over each other trying to explain, no, it's not us. It is them. We know it's them. That's the beauty of all of this. Thank you, Ralph. I appreciate you, sir. Let me go to Aaron in Goshen. How we doing, Aaron?
Hey, how you doing today, Reese? So,
pretty good, sir.
Lemon and joy. Okay, joy lemon.
Lemon joy. I just heard that.
Lemon joy.
Lemon joy.
Should be called Dumb and Dumber.
Yes. I thought you'd get a kick out of that clip. When I saw it, I went, oh, the audience is going to love this.
Oh, my Lord. Wow. I failed grammar school history.
Yeah. Yeah.
Grammar school.
Yeah.
God, I had another point to make, but
yes.
Well, anyway, I'll get to this. So if we're gonna go after Trump for January 6th and say, like, you know, he's the insurrectionist, where's Ray Epps in this? I mean, the boogeyman, Ray Epps. You know,
they're investigating him.
Said, we need to go into the Capitol.
Listen. First of all, what do you think? I'll put it to you this way: if Dan Bongino does anything as deputy director of the FBI, Ray Epps has got to be the first thing on his plate. You know what I mean? I
would hope so. Yeah. He should be. I mean, literally, we start there. And then you look at all the other provocateurs that were there doing what they had to do to make that happen.
Yeah.
Or the Capitol Police that were waving people in and pulling away the velvet ropes. And,
yeah.
And at the same point, too, who unlocked the door?
Yes.
It's a magnet door. Who unlocked it? We point fingers at all, you know, they point fingers at all those that went in. But the bottom line is, if the door is locked, you can't get in.
Karen,
so why was the door unlocked?
Aaron, let me tell you something. And I don't know if I've ever said this on the air, but I'd like to, if I can, I want to share this with you. So I was at the opposite side of the inauguration side at the Capitol. I was there on January 6th. I was right there. A guy by the name, you've all seen him, is the young kid, now he's much older, named C.J. Pearson. He was standing on one of the trucks that were stationed out that day, and he was, cheering the crowd on. And the stairs on that side, if you ever watch the news and you always see Congress when they're going into the Capitol or coming out of the Capitol, they're always standing on that side of the Capitol building. It's the grayer side. It's always the sun. It's not the sunshine side. It's the darker side of the Capitol. Well, that's where we were. And that was a good, I want to say 50 yards, maybe 70 yards away from the stairs going up into the Capitol. And while we were there, the crowd was massive there. And a friend of mine, Rick, was with me. He and I drove there. So we're standing there, and he goes, man, what do you make of this, Reese? And I'm like, I'm not going to lie. I've never been a part of anything close to this. Like, I've never been in a crowd of a protest like this. And it was like awestruck. I was awestruck by the people who were there. Alex Jones comes by me. Some other people who are celebrities or people in the news walk by me. But they're all there. But right as they get to the steps, no one is going up the stairs. There's a barricade there. And it's a usual police barricade right at the bottom of the stairs. Nothing that you couldn't just literally lift a leg over and walk up. But there was nothing there. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, police officers came off the top of the stairs and walked down to the bottom in front of those barricades. Barricades that no one had attempted to cross at any given time. But all of a sudden, the police came down to the bottom. And we're still standing there. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Okay, maybe the police are concerned people might go up. Nothing happens. Still, we're there for another 15, 20 minutes, and all of a sudden, people rushed the barricades. A couple of police officers tried to keep people from going up, but it was clearly too much for them. But here's the interesting part, Aaron. Do you know how many police officers we're talking? Again, if I'm counting with my bare hands the crowd that was standing there with me, there were at least 10,000 people there. 10,000 right at the steps. They brought down 3 officers to the bottom of those stairs. A stairway that no one tried to climb. And once the police officers got down there, all of a sudden there was a rush. It didn't make sense. I go, what are they doing? Why are they running up there? But then I thought it was sort of like, capture the flag moment. Like, let's make it to the top of the stairs and then, we'll cheer. And that's what happened. People got to the top of the stairs at the balcony level and they were jumping up and down, throwing their fists like, hey, we reached the top of the Capitol. So we were like, oh, okay, they're just celebrating that they made it up the stairs. By then, all of a sudden, everything else happened. But it was very weird that no one bothered to go up the stairs until the police came down. And when the police presence went there, nobody even attempted to go up.
There's so many questions surrounding January 6th, and there are so little answers. And the narrative they stuck with was that it was a dangerous, deadly insurrection.
Yep.
Where the only people that were killed were Trump supporters. There were no police officers killed. But let's look at all the suicides that took place because, all these suicides that took place.
That's the part that is really concerning me because I don't know the circumstances that people, they say that they blame January 6th for that. But again, something else is saying to me, why would, unless they thought that they had done something against the American people that they couldn't live with. Because my question is what could have possibly happened that you would take your own life? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. So it would be somebody that would talk out. And like in pirate lingo, a dead man tells no
tales. Right. And again, you also had, if you're a Capitol Police officer, Aaron, think about it this way. If you're a Capitol Police officer, if you were to take the media and Congress at the time, they were doing everything to prop up the police officers that they said were attacked. So it wasn't like these people they were alone in all of this, like they didn't have a support group, right? Every day you turned on the TV.
They were justified in their actions.
Exactly, right? So everyone said that these police officers were heroes. So it didn't make sense that they felt alone or disenfranchised or abandoned. They had the news media and government behind their backs. People got promotions as a result of this.
Let's not forget about this. Didn't Pelosi have a relative? I think it was her daughter doing a whole video documentary of the whole event.
Still hasn't seen the light of day.
Yeah, but we have proven whatever video footage that they have put out has also been doctored with an overlay of a crowd that isn't the audio from that particular day.
Indeed.
To make it look more aggressive. We also have people too that were smashing windows, and you have Trump supporters that were screaming at the Capitol Police and people to stop what is going on. Why aren't you doing anything as they're standing down? People that are pushing people out of the way, that are preventing people from going in, and then pushing people into the building. 2 + 2 does not equal 4 on January 6th. 2 + 2 = 16, and that's my question. Is so how do we get here?
Exactly. There's so many questions that we have to answer. I got to take a break real quick, Aaron. But I'll tell you the truth. Everything you just mentioned, those are the answers that we have to get. I don't know whether or not we'll get them during this term. But you know what? We may need a good 6 years before we get to the bottom of it. It may take that long before we ever figure it out. But I appreciate it. Everything you said was absolutely on point, though. Thank you, buddy. We got to take a break. We got to get some weather and traffic in here. And I've got some more news and more views and, of course, some more phone calls and your airing of grievance on this Friday. Gosh, we're already 2 hours in. How the hell did that happen? It just breezes on by. Goodness. And I've got the chainsaw supercut. We got to play that. What else do I have? I got some other stuff. Oh, we got to get into Batya. We got to get into her stuff as well. So stick around for that. We'll get to it. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 10 to 80. Jason Caterina's got your weather, and Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now and you're on the southbound side of I-91, look for delays from exit 33 down to 32A and B. And once you get around that, just a little slow as you move between 19 and 17 on the southbound side of 91 in Meriden. Northbound 91 looks good. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 a little slow approaching the Bulkley Bridge to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound slowing 48 Capitol Avenue to the Bulkley Bridge. Looks good east of the river. 291, 384, no issues. 2 eastbounds, also a good ride. Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown 9 in the Aragoni Bridge. A little slow 84 eastbound. Waterbury 17 to 18. Westbound 84 slowing from 25A in Waterbury up to the Mixmaster. If you are traveling on the eastbound side of 84 Danbury, you're tight 3 to 5. Again, 84 eastbound slowing 8 in Danbury to exit 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway, we have an accident between 61 and 60 in Hamden. Left lane blocked there, delays behind that. 95 South New Haven slowing from 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Clouds continue to give way to some sun for our Friday afternoon. It is windy with those winds gusting past 45 miles an hour at times. Could cause some localized damage. The high at 52. Then tonight, still breezy, otherwise mainly clear. Chilly tonight with a low down to 34. Mostly cloudy, milder as we make our way into Saturday. That ever-present wind around, though, the high of 59. And Saturday night, still breezy, clear to partly cloudy and colder with the low down to 27. On Sunday, mostly cloudy, windy, and cooler. That high 46 going to feel chilly with the strong west-northwest winds. Periods of rain Monday, a damp, raw, and chilly feeling day. The high of 47 on Monday. Make sure you take the umbrella when you head out. Partly sunny, a little milder on Tuesday with the high moving up to 52. Then it's mostly cloudy and a touch cooler as we head toward midweek on Wednesday. The high of 48. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
49 degrees, 5 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. NCAA opener tomorrow for the UConn women in Stores. They play Arkansas State. Not unusual to start the tournament at home, but Gino Auriemma not thrilled about it.
Contrary to public opinion, I don't necessarily like playing at home in the NCAA tournament. I really don't. I don't like playing at home in a Big East tournament because the perception out there is, well, you're already at home, so let's let the officials screw you here and there. Not that anybody thinks like that. Not that they actually do that. That's just me being paranoid.
Tip-off 1 o'clock, televised on ABC. The UConn men play Oklahoma tonight. There's more money for the Hartford schools. Mayor Arun Arulapalam is announcing an additional $3 million in funding for the city's Board of Ed. He says the money will be directed towards critical needs. He's also announcing a year-long process to identify at least $3 million more in savings.
It's also a commitment to working to combine some back office functions and things like finance and HR and maybe facilities to see if we can make the school district more financially sustainable and be more responsible with our dollars and make sure more of those dollars are going directly to classroom instruction.
The mayor will announce his new budget next week. Boeing gets a contract to produce a new fighter jet.
The president made the announcement in the Oval Office.
The Air Force is going to be awarding the contract for the next generation air dominance platform to Boeing.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth was there.
This is a big day for our warfighters. This is a big day for our country.
The F-47 is designed to carry a fleet of drone aircraft. Critics question the cost and necessity of the program, saying the Pentagon has not yet fully produced its current most advanced jet, the F-35, while the F-47 will have many of the same advanced technologies. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
New York Times reports plans to brief Elon Musk on a plan for a potential war with China were canceled after a report came out about that meeting. President Trump said he doesn't want to show the plan to anyone. Also today, more firings. Trump has now dismissed nearly the entire civil rights branch of the Department of Homeland Security. Some flights are moving tonight at London's Heathrow Airport after a day-long closure. There was a fire that's not deemed suspicious. CBS's Ian Lee says the cause is unknown.
Investigators are looking into that, and they want to get answers quickly. So they brought in the Counterterrorism Command, not because they believe there's been foul play, but they have the specialists, the resources, and the capabilities to quickly pinpoint the cause of the fire and to limit any further disruption. But right now, getting that airport up and running again, finding out the cause of the fire, those are the two main things they're trying to do.
Even though the airport is now open, the impact on the schedule will be felt for days across the U.S. and Europe. A water main break in Branford led to a boil water order. WTIC's John Silver reports.
The Regional Water Authority is advising residents on over a dozen streets to boil their water following a water main break. The streets include Damascus Drive, DeForest Drive, Frank Street, Gayley Drive, Indian Woods Road, Knollwood Road, Limewood Avenue, and Marks Court, among others. A 20-inch main was breached, which caused a loss of water pressure. The RWA is advising customers in the affected area to bring water to a rolling boil for at least a minute or use bottled water instead. John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
On Wall Street, the Dow closed up 32. S&P climbed 5 points. The NASDAQ was plus 92. Sports, the NCAA tournament. UConn plays Oklahoma tonight at about 9:25. Elsewhere, early winners, Baylor, Alabama, Iowa State, and Colorado State. Late second half, Duke leading Mount St. Mary's 84-43. Early second half, Vanderbilt 39, St. Mary's 27. Men's hockey's championship tonight in Boston. UConn plays Maine. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
If your air conditioner and furnace are they've pretty much gone to the dogs. But at Ayala Home Services, we can fetch you a free furnace with our 2-for deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a new air conditioning system, you receive a free furnace. We also offer free, no-obligation estimates for these new systems. Call, click, or text and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. P1027768A, D1040145, E1185643, S3308699, HIC 628926, SM3004646, HOD 635, HOD 223.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're back. It's the airing of Grievance Friday on News Talk 1080 WTIC. Let me ask you a question, Roland, if I can. Do you have any hanging, like, televisions or any of that inside your home? Like on the wall kind of stuff? Do you have any of that?
Have any what?
Like on the wall televisions. Like, you know, you have to, it's like a wall mount. Like
yeah. No, I don't have any. I built the stands.
What do you mean when you say stands? Like you have like something from the ground going up and then?
Yeah.
Oh, really? You build that kind of stuff?
Not like from scratch.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like, you know, you get the box full of 1,000 million pieces and you got to put it all together.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So the reason why I asked that was just like, I want to know, because I don't like drilling into the wall. Like, I hate hanging pictures. If you go to look at my new house, there are barely any photographs on the wall. The most I will stick into a wall is a thumbtack.
Oh, wow.
I don't like, because I don't like my wedding picture was the only picture I put on the wall since we moved in a year ago. And it's hung up with a thumbtack because I don't like drilling. But since then, I put in my office, I put a wall mount up with the TV. I got a 43. I just bought a new TV. I shouldn't say new. I like pawn shops, so I'll just buy a TV from the pawn shop because it's like margins different, cheaper. So I bought this 43-inch. I had a 13 or 19, whatever that is, and I put a 43 up there now. It's much bigger and it's beautiful.
A 43 is super small, man.
Yeah, listen, where I'm looking at the chat room, that's a 75-inch sitting across from me. So I have a bunch of different screens that are different sizes. But for what I want to watch, like if I want to watch the news while I'm doing the show, I put a wall mount up because it's up in the air and I always wanted a wall
that
mount.
makes sense.
So I did it myself. But my question is do you, and I'll ask Mark Christopher and Jason Catarinas as well, would you sooner do it yourself or would you pay somebody to do it for you because you're fearful? Because my biggest problem was that I wouldn't do it because I was always concerned about that electronics falling to the ground and destroy. Like right now, my biggest fear is that there'll be a tremor or something like this and my valuables will fall to the ground.
Yeah, I would, fortunately for me, My brother, he's like
So he does that.
supervisor for Xfinity, so he does that for a living. So
Gotcha. So you would
anytime
just
I
call
need
him.
that, I'll just call him and tell him come hook it up for me.
Yeah, you know what? I use the stud finder too, Jason, and it kept beeping when it touched me.
Oh, isn't that clever?
Let's go to Jason Catarinas for weather and Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, do you have that? I know you're electronically or advanced in that space. So do you have any wall mounts in the walls in your house? Like, did you install them yourself, or did you get somebody to do it?
No. I in fact, there's my carpenter Glenn is here right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't do any of that kind of stuff.
So you won't do the self DIY stuff.
No, well, unless I'm pretty good on the lawn stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as
hanging stuff on the walls,
no,
you won't touch it.
Well, me and my wife will do it together. Yeah, simple job like that. But anything beyond that.
So, do you have a wall mount TV in the house at all?
Yes. And
Okay.
the guy we paid a guy to put it in.
That's what I was.
We paid a guy.
That's what I thought.
I helped lift it and put it into place, but that's where it ended. He measured it. He goes, okay, we're going to put this here, and this will fit a 65-inch TV. Yeah,
Right.
no problem. But, yeah, and he even knew how high to put the mount. He comes in, he goes, yeah, we're going to put it up this many inches. That's the standard height. I wouldn't have known that.
You wouldn't have done it, right? Exactly. To be honest with you.
And I would have ruined the sheetrock, and then I would have had a guy come in and have to re-sheetrock. And you know what? I'm just not handy like
I put
that.
mine 7 feet up in the air. I have no idea whether or not it's going to hold.
Well,
we'll find
you're
out.
soon enough, yeah. Hopefully you won't be underneath it when it comes down.
No doubt.
Hey, we have a crash now, Reese. 91 northbound between exit 20 and 21 on the middle.
So you're the stud, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Good ride up into Hartford. Southbound 91 slows 33 down to 32 A and B. A little slow again from 19 to 17 in Meriden on the southbound side of 91. Westbound 84 slowing Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound a little tight 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84 okay. 2 eastbound moving well Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing 17 to 18. Westbound 84 is tied up from 25A in Waterbury up to the Mixmaster. If you are traveling southbound 95 New Haven, you're slowing 46 down to 43. And 84 eastbound Danbury tight 3 to 5 again from 8 in Danbury out to exit 11 in Newtown. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
I'm that handy. I built a huge half pipe in my backyard when I was a kid, so it's gone from there. Anyways, as we head through the rest of tonight, breezy this evening, otherwise mainly clear. The low down to 32. Breezy and warm.
That guy there, boy.
Turning cloudy, the high at 60. The warmer and we'll say nicer of the 2 weekend days. Saturday night, clear to partly cloudy, breezy and cold. The low down to 26. Cooler day on Sunday. Going to be windy too, so it'll feel chilly with the high of 46 under mostly cloudy skies. Take your umbrella Monday. Periods of rain, a damp raw, and chilly day with the high of 47. Right now, Danbury at 50. It's 48 in New London, 48 also in Mansfield, and 49 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth from Money Wisdom. Tune in this week and every week to gain a better understanding of taxes, retirement income, and long-term care. The Money Wisdom, Saturdays at 8:30 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Concerned about your gums? Columbia Dental's expert periodontists specialize in treating all gum conditions, helping you achieve a healthy, confident smile. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Tune in to WTIC News Talk 1080 for Healthy Rounds, Saturday mornings 11 till noon. Learn from the top experts about the latest medical news and call in with your questions. Healthy Rounds, sponsored by Hartford Healthcare, Saturday mornings 11 till noon on WTIC News Talk 1080 and WTIC.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Attention! Have you racked
One minute.
dollars or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check reduction you may qualify for, call 800-885-1010. 800-885-1010. Again, that's 800-885-1010.
Reese on the Radio is getting ready to drop some knowledge on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Drop it.
Yes, of course. It's Reese on the Radio. Carmela, I didn't know that you didn't know this before, so let me fill you in now. Then we'll get back to the phones, 860-522-WTIC. Carmela, so Janet Serrano did not show up at the school board meeting. And she has so far been spooked by Leslie Torres. Not that she did anything illegal, Leslie Torres, to her. I don't want to get that impression. But let's just say that Janet Serrano has been spooked due to a response. And we're still working on the story. Janet Serrano did not go to the school board meeting to testify and did not reveal what she said she was going to reveal on the 18th. That didn't happen. However, there were members of the press who were there who went to go get answers. One reporter in particular, who I'm in association with, did speak to Leslie Torres to get a statement, to which she said no comment. FOIA requests have been sent out to the school board, to the mayor's office. And how long that takes, that depends. But there are journalists who are on it. We are going to get to the bottom of it. We are not going to let go of it, no matter how long they slow walk it. The mayor's office has been put on notice. He knows it. The school board has been put on notice. They've actually reached out. And they've reached out on several levels. They are, in my view and my opinion, participating in a cover-up. And I believe that they know it. I think that the reputation of Leslie Torres Rodriguez is important to them. It will sully not just her reputation, but the reputation of the school board in general, if not the city. So there's nothing that I can report. I wish that we had, but, I've done everything I could to get Janet Serrano to trust in me. And it's not a slight on her to say that she doesn't. She doesn't know who to trust. And she's scared to death. And I told her, and I made this clear, and I'll say it to you, that for them, they will crush her like a bug. And they'll make sure that her story never gets out, because the only person who can tell it is her. But if they instill enough fear in her, she won't talk, because she has nothing. And I don't know, like I said, I'm made of a different cloth. I'm cut of a different cloth. Tell me I've got nothing to lose, or tell me I've got everything to lose, and you can damn well bet I'll do it. Tell me that if I speak up, I'll lose it all. And I'll talk more. A threat is a threat is a threat. And I say that when I was a kid. I had a bully named Cornflake. Yes, his name was Cornflake. Not Corn Pop like Biden. That guy's fictional. I had a real bully named Cornflake. And he beat me all the time. Chased me home. And not to go without saying, in Cornflake's defense, I started it. I didn't know how tough the guy was, and I couldn't shut up. We were in the hallway of junior high school. He said something smart, and I said something smarter back. I was funnier. And you can't be funny if you don't know how to fight. You can't be. Now, I used to think that if you were funny, people wouldn't beat you up. But if you embarrass somebody with your humor, they will beat you up. And he said something slick, and I said something slicker. Mine got the laugh. Mine got the bigger laugh. My laugh made the teachers laugh. My big made the teachers laugh. That's how embarrassed he was. And he never forgot it. And he beat me for every laugh I got for years. Until he was mysteriously shot in the face during a random drug buy in 1991. But I don't know anything about that. But he beat me a lot. And I know what it's like to be bullied. And after being bullied so much by Cornflake, I understood the power. And I had a girlfriend named Laura from Danbury. And she said, you need to learn to use your powers for good. That always stuck with me. You need to learn to use your powers for good. So I became a bully for good. Trying to do that now. So that's where we are today. Cornflake was a really bad dude, Polly says. Let's go to Mike. White Mike is in Florida. What's up, buddy?
Hey, man. Well, real quick, I want to do a little callback to your caller, George.
Sure.
It's pretty good. But George brought up some story about the New York Times and Hitler.
Yes, they're covering up for the atrocities, right?
Which is fine, but you also have to remember that the New York Times had a man on the ground in Moscow in the 30s named Walter Duranty, who transmitted propaganda for the Soviet Union, including covering up the millions of people who starved to death under Stalin.
Did he mention Lenin and not Stalin? I thought he did mention Stalin.
No, Walter Duranty was there during Stalin.
Oh, okay.
Lenin had been lost. And not only did he not report the starvation, he actively covered up for it and discredited journalists who said opposite of him.
Wow.
So the New York Times is in no way a Nazi organization. Basically, they've been the mouthpiece for communism their entire run.
Yeah, a lot of people have always said that about them.
But anyway.
Yes, sir.
Airing grievances. I have a grievance. Have you heard of a company called Boston Dynamics?
Oh, yeah, the robot. The one that was doing the breakdancing yesterday.
Right. So Boston Dynamics has a YouTube channel, and whenever they get a new breakthrough, they post a video of the robot doing some crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They have a new robot that does flips and breakdancing and runs and can do cartwheels. And why is nobody keeping an eye on these autistic roboticist nerds?
You were thinking, listen to me, you are talking about the same thing that I was thinking as I watched it. When he was walking and then running, I kept looking at him going, wow, that's really, really good, or that's AI. And then he started breakdancing, and I said to myself, yo, this is really creepy. Like, what could these, because remember, and this is probably where you and I are in agreement. These are kids who were more than likely bullied as young people. With this technology in their hands, right? You can say, oh, yeah, they're brilliant. Yeah, they're smart. But there's always that one kid who has an evil plan with that kind of power. You know what I mean? It's like,
and the military is clearly funding this.
Yes.
There's no way the military doesn't have their hands in this stuff. So how long before they weaponize this? They're going to start out industrial, of course.
Yeah.
They're going to give them some limited AI so they can move boxes around.
Yep.
If a robot is strong and dexterous enough to move boxes in a warehouse, it's more than capable of attacking people.
Yeah. Yeah.
My only hope is that they're going to, the geekiness and the loneliness will overcome the put uponness, and somebody's going to develop sex robots, and that'll be where it takes all the super genius roboticists.
But wait a minute. Here's another one. I'm thinking about this too. Because forget about the guy who forget about Boston Dynamics, right? Try this on for size. So let's say we make these things in abundance and they become affordable. Affordable in the sense of 20 grand to buy one, right? Mm-hmm. And you have the real, those other super geeks, as it were, who buy these things. And they're the ones who are going to do what's happened with every bit of technology that's ever been invented. they jailbreak them. That's what they do, right? What happened with the cell phone? They found a way to jailbreak it, to get the cell phone to do the thing that the administrator of the thing didn't allow it to do, right? So someone takes the technology and I can turn your phone into this, that, and the third. Can you imagine what they would do with a Boston Dynamics robot?
Oh, they're absolutely going to instantly violate Asimov's 3 rules of robotics.
Exactly.
But, there's multiple companies doing this. Like Mercedes has one they showed off. They're planning to put in their automobile factory. They're all giving them some sort of NVIDIA AI. And there was one I saw that was being marketed as a domestic helper bot.
Yeah.
And the lead was it gathers data so it learns.
Ooh.
Well, I don't really know if a learning artificially intelligent robot is the best idea, because somebody's going to connect it to the internet and it's going to learn to hate people.
Yeah, that's right.
And hilariously enough, every time somebody has connected AI to the internet, it immediately becomes racist and anti-Semitic.
I don't know why, but you're 100% right. It does.
Yeah,
it just
shut
does.
down a couple of them because it came out racist and anti-Semitic after seeing the internet.
It's so true. You know what? I'll tell you this quick story before I go to the next call. Do you remember that story about they had an AI-generated password that you would get with your cable subscription, right? So your cable subscription, you would get it, and then you'd set it up, and then the computer, a learning computer, would automatically set up what your password was. It wasn't anybody. It just did it on its own because, again, it's a form of AI. Well, one black woman wanted to sue the cable company because its password was the N-word 67. I'll never forget that. And I was like, wow, like, how did that happen? Like, and they tried to explain to her. I was like, no, the computer just did that on its own. And I went, yeah, okay, I'm not disagreeing with you, but that's peculiar.
I don't think people are ready for the rise of Robo-Hitler, man. That's going to be something else.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Let's go to Craig. Craig's in the car. How are you, sir?
Well, I just found a new password nobody will crack.
I'm sorry. That's hilarious. Thank you. Yes, what's up, buddy?
I got to meet that white Mike.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, he is a smart dude. Don't let the accent fool you.
He is
And
hilarious,
a smart
and
individual.
I think in order to be funny, you have to be that smart. That's
Yeah, for sure. So he prompted a question that I've been wondering for a long time. You know how science fiction, the Gene Roddenberrys and the George Lucases and all
Sure.
that, everything that they come up with ends up being reality.
Mm-hmm.
So, the communicators in the original Star Trek ended up being flip phones. And if you remember, after the original trilogy of Star Wars, they had the Clone Wars.
Yep.
Which looked freakishly like the robots running around right now.
Mm-hmm.
Are they super forward thinking and know what's coming, or does technology just mimic what science fiction did 25 years ago?
Well, I'm going to say that I would say that it's a mixture of art dictating life and life dictating art. Because, I will admit, when it comes to science fiction, life is always dictating art, right? So the guys can, you can dream it up and you can do the sort of phony invention of said technology. And then that becomes the drawing board for a lot of these science geeks, right? They see something in a Star Trek and they go, let's make that a reality. Like we'll use their mind as the impetus to our invention. So that I kind of understand. It's what happens thereafter is always the interesting part.
But it happens so often. If you remember, and I like science fiction.
Me too.
If you remember Star Trek, The Next Generation, when Picard would go and say, "Computer, T. Earl Grey," and it would just show up.
Yeah.
Right? Now we're talking to our phones and we're going, "Hey Siri." Well, that's just like computer.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Right. And I do believe, like I said, I believe that people watch that stuff and say, how can we turn that into reality? And that's why I say, like, the inventive minds of those people are they are the ingenuity, right? That idea done by Gene Roddenberry, scientists are sitting around watching those shows because they love them, and they go, let's make what Picard did a reality. So in this case, art is dictating life. But what people do in life, that's just a human thing. I think that science fiction and people fact or human fact, when those two things meet, it's always calamity. That's the way I see it. Thank you, man. I got to get to the break, though. Let's get another check of our weather with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center is Mark Christopher. I said Jason Catarinas is with weather, and Mark Christopher's got the traffic. I just screwed that whole thing up. Anyway, what's up, buddy?
We got it. We understand. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound side of 84 slowing, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue, 84 eastbound, some slow traffic, 46 Sisson Avenue to the Bulkley, southbound 91 slowing in Hartford, 33 down to 32 A and B. And then you'll see some slow traffic as you move down between exit 19 and 17. Looks like we have a problem on the right shoulder between 19 and 18. Use caution. Northbound 91, you got some slow traffic 20 up to 21. In Cromwell, after that, a good ride up into Hartford and Windsor. 291, 384 moving well east of the river. 2 eastbounds moving very well, Glastonbury to Marlborough. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury 84 westbound, you're tied up from 26 in Cheshire up to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound, Waterbury slowing 17 to 18. And if you're southbound on the Wilbur Cross Parkway, you're going to see delays from 60 down into the West Rock Tunnel in New Haven. 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Clouds continue to give way to some sun for our Friday afternoon. Windy, though, with those winds gusting past 45 miles an hour at times. It could be locally damaging, the high of 52. Breezy this evening, otherwise mainly clear and chilly with the low down to 34. Mostly cloudy, milder and breezy on our Saturday with the high moving up to 59. On Sunday, mostly cloudy, windy and cooler at high of 46, so feel chilly with the gusty winds. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
49 degrees in Hartford. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. High-stakes court hearing in Washington. Federal Judge James Boasberg is trying to determine if the Trump administration ignored his turnaround order last weekend when 2 planes full of immigrants were in flight. The judge is also waiting for key information about those immigrants who are allegedly Venezuelan gang members. CBS News legal analyst Jessica Levinson.
A lengthy and contentious hearing. The big takeaways are, I think, that the judge right off the bat was frustrated with the Department of Justice and the lack of information that they have provided to him.
CBS's Jake Rosen has more.
Boasberg, who's been asking for questions about these 2 flights all week, still has not gotten the answers that he wanted. The government is saying that they might claim some national security secrets privilege to basically keep these answers from Boasberg. But he did prod this attorney to basically say, at that point, right, when the government attorney has answered, he told the government, Boasberg said he wants to find out who in the government then received that order and decided to not listen. He said he would get to the bottom of that case.
That order temporarily barred the deportations. It's been 5 weeks in the hospital for Pope Francis with pneumonia, but 2 of his closest advisors are predicting he will recover and that a new stage in his leadership will start after his release. President Trump says Boeing is being awarded a contract to produce the latest U.S. fighter jet. As CBS's Jason Brooks reports, that sent Boeing stock up about 3%.
Boeing's expected to win hundreds of billions of dollars worth of orders once the fighter jet goes into production. And it's not just a jet, but a connected family of systems, including armed drone wingmen, which can be controlled by the pilot and artificial intelligence. It's a huge jolt for Boeing's turnaround efforts, with the aerospace company plagued over the past year with quality control issues in its commercial division and long delays with its next Air Force One replacement.
On Wall Street, the Dow was up 32 points. S&P climbed 5 points. The NASDAQ was up 92 points. Sports, the men's NCAA tournament. UConn plays Oklahoma tonight. It's on TNT. Winners today, Duke, Baylor, Alabama, Iowa State, and Colorado State. And now with 3:44 remaining, St. Mary's leads Vanderbilt 53-50. Men's Hockey's championship tonight in Boston. UConn plays Maine. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News.
Here's a harsh fact.
40% of women and almost 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. And if you think this is just a cosmetic problem, think again. Varicose or spider veins, if left untreated, can lead to swollen or discolored legs, cramping, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, even worse, blood clots, which can travel to other parts of your body. But here's the good news. Advanced Medical Vein Treatment Centers offers plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-597-7992. That's 800-597-7992. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your vein problems will not go away on their own, and in time can lead to major health issues. Call Advanced Medical Vein today for free information on fast and easy solutions that are covered by most insurance plans, Medicare included. Call 800-597-7992. That's 800-597-7992 today.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Don't miss this important announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
So my wife was supposed to be taking me out on a train. And I don't know if anybody's ever done this, but let me know if you have. So apparently, like, each state or several states have what's called these train rides that you can take for like an hour and a half, and they take you to the small little town, and you can go there and shop and eat dinner, for 2 hours and then take the train back. And they're usually... they're literally just train tours that you take. I'm a big train guy. I love model trains. I'm a choo-choo train guy. Just weirdly enough, I just am. And so I like stuff like that. So if you know anything like that in Connecticut, I don't think they do anything like that. But even in the nearby tri-state, maybe they have something in New Hampshire, Vermont, or even Massachusetts. Let me know. I'm very interested in finding out this deal. I've been on some trains. We went to Universal and did that Harry Potter train thing. The part that sucked is that, you're watching film in front of you. That's not a train ride. Trains, you get to see really beautiful scenery on a train. If you've ever watched the movie, if you ever ridden an Amtrak, you know what I'm talking about. It's a very impressive ride. It's one of the things I believe in life everyone should experience is just driving. It sucks at night because, of course, you can't see anything. But to watch the sun go down while riding on a train is, I can't match anything to it. It's beautiful. Just like flying on an airplane, with the sun in the distance, right above the clouds, even flying through them, that's an experience in and of itself. But in a train going through just parts of America, it's just breathtaking. Anywhere in the world on a train, it just is. It was like it was designed to look that way. It was like they knew what they were doing. Like the guy who invented this or set that train, that trail, just knew they're going to love this view. Like, it's crazy, but I don't know. Jonathan, Jason says, the Essex train ride rides along the Connecticut River. That's got to be beautiful. Thomaston, Connecticut, the Essex Street steam train. How long is that? How long is that ride? Because, I'll admit, the train ride, in order for it to be decent, should at least be an hour. Now, the worst thing that can happen on a train ride is when there are a lot of stalling, like a lot of, you're sitting around doing nothing. That's not a train ride. I'll admit, I used to take the Metro North up to New Haven. I still love that train ride, even through Harlem. You kind of feel like you're whisking through the skyline, and through the cityscape. It's just, I think it's just fascinating. I've always been caught up in that. Let's get another check of the weather with weather with Jason Catarinas. Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Do you ride the train much, Mark? Have you ever...
Every now and then, yeah. I mean, like going to a game at Yankee Stadium.
Okay.
Get on the Metro North from New Haven. Man, it drops you off like 5-6 minute walk to the park.
You know what? That is one of the smartest train routes ever. Because it goes right to the stadium. It's brilliant.
Exactly.
Whoever thought of it was like, you know what? People in Connecticut come to the games all the time. There's a lot of Connecticut Yankee fans.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
It was brilliant
to
get that
don't
ride
put me
right
in
there.
Don't put me in that category of a Yankee fan.
I'm just saying, just for Yankee fans who are in Connecticut. But it's a brilliant.
No, it's a great idea. No question.
And it's not only that, because if you're a Boston fan and you want to go see the storied series, you can go there as well. So
that's right.
It's smart. It's a smart
idea.
idea.
I go there with no Red Sox gear on. And I generally don't cheer as loud when I'm there. Like Devers hits a home run off of Chapman in the 8th inning of a Sunday night game way back when, 5 years ago. And I looked and I'm like, I just pumped my fist a little bit. And my Yankee friends were looking at me, and I just...
I have a nervous tick.
Yes.
I have a nervous tick that only happens when Boston hits home run.
But Yankee Stadium and Fenway Park around the park are two of the greatest atmospheres, just great atmospheres.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry, Fenway, bar none, much better than Yankee Stadium, because the Yankee Stadium of yore is no more. So Fenway takes the crown. Plus, it's a historic landmark.
Well, the new Yankee Stadium, those tickets behind home plate are so expensive. They're always empty. Nobody can afford to sit in them,
exactly.
Unfortunately. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, Reese 84 eastbound, slowing 46 Sisson Avenue to the Bulkley. Westbound 84 tied up, approaching the Bulkley after 45 Flatbush. Southbound 91 just a little slow by 33 Jennings Road. If you're traveling on the southbound side of 91, look for a little slow traffic approaching 19. Between 19 and 18, we have a problem on the right shoulder, a couple of vehicles there. If you're traveling 291 through 84, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury 84 eastbound slowing 17 to 18. Westbound 84 is a little tight, 23 up to the Mixmaster. And if you're heading into New Haven, southbound Parkway a little slow, 60 into the West Rock. 95 southbound delays, 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Still breezy tonight, otherwise mainly clear and chilly. The low down to 32. Breezy and warmer with some sun before turning cloudy Saturday. The nicer of the 2 weekend days, the high up to 60. Clear to partly cloudy, breezy and cold Saturday night, the low 26. Then mostly cloudy Sunday. Windy and cooler, going to feel chilly with the high of 46 and the winds. Damp, raw, and chilly day for Monday with periods of rain and the high of 47. Currently, it's 50 in New Haven, 52 in Bridgeport, 47 in Bristol, and 48 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
If you or a loved one has been the victim of medical malpractice, know that you are not alone. Call 1-800-HAYMOND and they will get you the answers and advice you deserve. Attorney John Haymond is your legal authority in medical malpractice. Call 1-800-HAYMOND.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or at CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth from Money Wisdom. Tune in this week and every week to gain a better understanding of taxes, retirement income, and long-term care. The Money Wisdom, Saturdays at 8:30 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Men, this is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. The one you love is the light of your life. And if you're like most of us, you want to do whatever you can to nurture your relationship. But if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction, you know the impacts the condition is likely having on you and on your partner. ED is a relationship destroyer. It can contribute to depression, distancing, conflicts, even breakups and divorce. And what's so disturbing about this is that most men who suffer with ED can be successfully treated, but a lot of guys don't seek treatment when they should. At Northeast Men's Health, we have protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases. In fact, if you're like most guys, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and maybe find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. So call Northeast Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices in the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Seems these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Yeah, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is. You know who it is.
It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we are back, and we are about to get out of here. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend this weekend. Do whatever you can. I will be going to the local dump to get rid of a trailer junk and then sell my trailer so I can finally be retired. It will be the last thing that I sell for my business. And then, of course, we got our Sunday show, which airs at 1 p.m. on Sunday. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about, but I'll be recording that as well. And, yeah, that's pretty much what the weekend's going to be. My wife is going to have me do chores around the house. We may paint. I think we're going to do some painting, finally, on a house that we've lived in for a year. That's going to be boring, but at least we'll do that. I don't know what else I could possibly do. I understand that Roland is going to be possibly winning some money on the tour circuit tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's see how well he does. He'll come back and tell us on Monday whether or not he actually made any money off of it.
Only if I do good.
Only if you do well. Okay. What is this? C. Morgan says that I think it's called the excursion train rides of New England. Okay. I think I've heard of that. I'll probably check that out as well. You get to see, Jason says, go to see Gillette Castle, the Opera House. And it's best during the fall to go. I love the fall. It's one of my favorite seasons. I think I like fall better than I like spring. So, yeah, that's I love jacket weather. I hate the extreme heat, and I hate the extreme cold. So I'm right in that middle. So I really, really like that. So I hope that everybody has a wonderful weekend and do what you do. Let's get to the phones and get everybody out of here. Steve is in Waterbury. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
I'm all right, sir. What's up?
Good. Well, speaking of Gillette Castle, if you ever heard of Lake Compounds, which is the oldest running amusement park.
Yeah.
The guy that had owned it, Gillette Castle, had miniature trains, and they have one over at Lake Compounds. They have one over at Quassapark, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so you said miniature. You said miniature trains.
Yes,
oh, okay.
Sir. Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
And I do believe they actually have like a thing where they go leaf peeking,
okay,
or whatever they call that. So during the fall, and that train by Gillette Castle, if I'm not mistaken, runs to Rocky Neck, which is one of our state parks.
Now that sounds. How long is that? Do you know how long that ride is altogether?
Well, that one I think is Amtrak, and I think that just travels to wherever.
Oh, just okay. So it just goes through. I got you. It's part of the whole the I guess the schedule. So you get on and get off as it were. I get it. Okay, that makes sense.
There's a bridge over there that actually jumps off the rail train down to get caught midair in a camera shop.
Okay, that makes sense.
Cool when I was younger.
Yeah, I love. See, like I said, I don't care what kind of train it is. I mean, if it's old, if it's an old sort of like steam train or coal powered, like that kind of stuff, that ancient stuff or restored stuff, those are classics. Unfortunately, the only thing you get to do is appreciate the inside of the train. You don't really get to see it. You don't get to see that operation. But I like an old style train. But nonetheless, I love a train ride, period. I think that's an incredible experience nonetheless. Sorry, what was the other thing you wanted to add?
Well, before I just switch off this, for the people that have younger kids, I know a couple times, if not mistaken, they actually had like a Thomas train from the TV show.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not exactly sure how that was done, but I remember reading about that in the paper years ago.
I want to ride on. To be honest with you, my favorite thing to do outside of riding the train is like if there are a lot of these museums or exhibits where the guys do the entire like 1/8 scale towns, and they're enormous, and they've got a train running through the whole. It's just a regular train set, but it's got a 1/8 scale of like a small town, whether it's a real town or an invented town, but it's got the train running through the entire town, and it's like the size of half of a football field, and you just get to see and walk around and watch as the train travels through the make-believe town. It's a beautiful thing. It's my favorite sort of pastime to watch that and to watch the guys put it together. That stuff, forget about it. You got me at hello on that thing. I love watching that. So.
Sounds interesting. The reason I called originally,
yes,
I was thinking about this today. For all those people who said anybody about Trump,
mm-hmm.
and now that he's back in office, had 4 years to plan what he wants to do,
mm-hmm.
and Democrats are going down the tubes big time.
Yeah.
I never would have planned it this way, never would have wanted it this way, but I think it's probably the best thing that could have possibly happened, that Joe Biden was in there between a break. They got to see how bad things could be.
Mm-hmm.
And now Trump's going to come back strong. He's going to really correct a whole lot of things. And
let me play this audio for you that's going to make you feel good, Steve. This is going to make you feel good. So you have so many people, and if you have any friends like this or people that you know like this, the one thing that has driven them sick is the fact that they, and as Chuck Schumer has said, right, he's trying to drive down Donald Trump's popularity. He's trying to drive it down and drive down his poll numbers so that people will join them in either ousting him or winning the midterm elections. Well, Ana Navarro was on that View. View does a podcast after The View where they bring on the host to talk personally about what went on or what's going on. This is Ana Navarro talking about Hispanics in Florida who voted for Donald Trump. This should give you at least a little bit of a chuckle and a little beam of pride.
Police departments in South Florida are signing cooperation agreements to be deputized as ICE. When we, I keep thinking, okay,
this is going to be
this is going to change the way folks. They're gleeful. Everybody I know who voted for Trump is gleeful and supportive of everything he's.
They can't believe it. So there's this sense of pride. They can't understand it that people actually, like as you just said, 4 years of Joe Biden has literally driven people into the arms of another man. It's like exactly what
I don't see much future for Chuck Schumer either, by the way.
Yeah, nor do I. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you, sir.
Have a good one.
Have a great weekend. Let's go to Mike in Thomaston. Hey, Mike. Yes, Mike. Yes, you, sir.
Hey, Reese. I just sent you a message on Facebook Messenger.
Yes, sir.
It's the Railroad Museum of New England.
Oh, okay. Good.
They go from Thomaston. It's the old school ones. They redid the carts. You can do dinners on them. Sometimes they bring you up to the Warner Theater for like dinner and theater type thing.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this, did they take you up for the dinner, or the dinner happens on the train?
Dinner happens on the train.
Oh, forget about it. I'm in. That's it. I'm already doing it. I'm already booking it. That's perfect. I love that.
If you do the late afternoons in the summer, they actually stop right on the Thomaston Dam so that you can see the sunset over the valley of the town.
Oh, that's perfect. Everything about that is gorgeous. Everything about that is gorgeous.
I've walked those railroads from Thomaston to Torrington as a kid. And the sights on the tracks are ridiculous.
I will tell you, there's that, I don't know if you've ever seen, you've had to have seen it. If you watched Equalizer 2 with Denzel Washington, the opening scene, they're on a train, I think in Turkey, and the train is very, very old and it's beautiful. It's the opening scene inside the train is in a bar car, and there are tables that's in there. Now, although there's some violence that happens on this scene, but you actually look at that bar, it's beautifully done. The bar, the tables, the seating area, that's the kind of train I want to be on, where you kind of feel like it almost takes you back to like the 1800s or early 1900s.
Go to the website I sent you.
Okay.
And you'll see they just did a St. Patrick's Day one.
Oh, okay.
Where they serve corned beef and all that.
That's great.
You have to pay for the tickets well ahead of time. So I would start looking now if you plan on being up here for the summer.
You got it, boss man. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. I will definitely look that up. Let's go to my good friend all the way up in Niagara Falls. Hey, Polly, you better be careful because Joy Reid says the Canadians would whoop us in a fight. You're right on the front lines.
How dare you? Okay. Oh my gosh. I could not, I don't want to detract from my question to you.
Yes, ma'am.
But I couldn't understand why so many males were upset with Greta Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg?
How dare you?
Yes.
And my son told me yesterday, he's like, first off, Mom, no males, they don't want women telling them what to do, but then a girl.
Yeah.
So I couldn't understand why so many people are so upset about it.
Listen,
oh my gosh.
She just seems like a bratty teenager that always sort of gets on your nerves. And to listen to her, I had a 16, well, even younger, but my stepdaughter, I raised her from 9 until she was, 20? And this girl, Greta Thunberg, sounds just like her when she's ticked off.
How dare you?
She just sounds like that. That's how she sounds. She would be upset every time. Every time I hear her.
How dare you?
One time, I'll tell you this, Polly, before I let you go. One time I said this to her. It was her first experience into her womanhood, as it were, and she was very, very cranky. And I looked at her and I said, how big was it? And she went, what? I went, how big was it? And she says, what are you talking about? I said, the bug that went up your rear. And she stormed into her room, slammed the door, and she screamed. "Ah!" I'll never forget that. But it was the first and last time I ever got on her case when she was going through her cycle, because she was a mad woman. So yeah, I know better now. What did you want to ask, Polly? I'm sorry.
Oh, I want to ask you really quick. It's a really what about our patriot Americans being so pro-war? Right now, I didn't realize. I checked the news as of yesterday, and we are like at war with the Houthis, and they're bombing the port along Saudi Arabia, and Russia's telling the U.S. stop it, and it's over Gaza and the Palestinians, and I'm just like, I don't know. So many patriot Americans are like, whatever it takes.
Well, a lot of people believe in there used to be a time where war was beneficial to the American economy. But of course, that's not the case anymore. But remember what, was it Eisenhower who talked about the military industrial complex? Because what that was about was that it was no longer war for profiteering America. Then it became a personal profiteering for the war hawks, the people who were making something from it and didn't care about their lives. Exactly. Earning. Exactly.
Raytheon.
Yeah. So that's the deal now. And I think, when we use our military, sure, in a lot of ways, it should be used to deter any further. Like, first of all, when you're dealing with people like the Houthis, when you're dealing with people like Al-Qaeda or ISIS, people like that, you cannot reason with them. There is no real negotiations to be had. You can do that with Russia. You can do that with South Korea. You can even do that with China. But people who are willing to strap a bomb on their bodies and hurt innocent people, their own, if not us, you have to meet them with the force that they meet with you. And that is, to attack them. So I think Donald Trump is right in the war effort, or I should say the attack mode in that case. Go ahead, real quick.
A lot of those groups, ISIS, Mujahideen, Al-Qaeda,
indeed,
ISIS, Hamas, they are made in the USA. A lot of them. So you got that going on, too.
Mujahideen in particular. But I'll tell you this. In fact, Polly, if you don't mind, I'm just going to have to give you the make you the last but not least caller of the day and give you a dozen bagels. But I will tell you this. People,
no bagels for me.
No, none. Okay, then we'll get them to somebody else. Okay, you know what? Hold on for me. I got to go anyway, Polly, because it's the end of the show and they're going to kick me off anyway. So I will.
gotta hear what you want to say.
I'm going to say it, but I got to take you off. So let me just say this. You know what? I'm just going to have to deal with it Monday because I got to get out of here. There's just so much stuff. So
it's going to be Wally?
Yeah, it's just, give it to Wally. Wally is going to be our last but not least caller of the day, who's going to win a dozen bagels, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, who will soon have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in my honor. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Anyway, as I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese On Radio. You have a wonderful weekend. Check out the Sunday show at 1 o'clock. Mark Christopher, Jason Catarinas. Jason is in the Weather Center, and Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Have a great weekend, fellas.
Thank you very much, Reese. You too. And if you're on your way.
All right, good sir. You enjoy your weekend.
All right, you got it. I know you guys doing
slow as you move
the
up
yard goats are going on real quick.
Yeah. Joey's in here right now.
I just heard him.
Into the tunnel.
All right, I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, peace. Be quiet northbound 91 Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291 384 OK 2 eastbound moving well Glastonbury to Marlborough.
All right. Peace, y'all. Be safe. Everybody be good. Thank you. We had a wonderful week this week. We got so much stuff to get into. You want to keep the trailer, by the way. They come in handy. I agree with you, Boris, but my wife wants to sell it because it's taking up space in the yard. So, but peanut butter and jelly with Reese's Pieces. I tried, Boris, but they didn't like it. Everybody said it was nasty. So they're going to do Reese's peanut butter and jelly. That's what they're going to do. So, I don't know. We'll see. All right. I love you guys. Y'all be good. I'll see you on Monday. Don't forget, check out the Sunday show. I'll be taping that sometime tomorrow night for Sunday. All right. Love you guys. ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Holler.